so much. Thank you, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley Community Services District, City as Successor Agency of the City of Moreno Valley Housing Authority, Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority, and the Board of Library Trustees. The City Council does receive a separate stipend for CSD meetings. I now call this regular City Council meeting to order on February 2nd, 2021 at 6:06 p.m. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Councilmember Marquez.
Here.
Councilmember Cabrera.
I'm here.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Baca.
Here.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Here. Staff introductions, please.
Ad hoc Esnares, City Clerk.
Stephen Quintanilla, Interim City Attorney.
Mike Lee, City Manager.
Marshall Ironman, Assistant City Manager, Chief Financial Officer.
Michael Wolf, Assistant City Manager, Director of Public Works, City Engineer.
Malia Mancha, Community Development Director.
Patty Solano, Parks and Community Services Director.
John Salisbury, Chief of Police.
Abdul Ahmed, Fire Chief.
Thank you, staff. And as many of you know, in the public and the staff as well, we did lose one of our colleagues, Dr. Carla J. Thornton. And at this time, I'd like us to, in her memory, just a moment of silence. And if you can think of maybe one positive moment you had with Carla during that moment of silence, that would be great in her honor. Thank you. We're very, very saddened about what happened. And I like also to open up the floor to our council members as well, if you'd like to say a few words as well. I know that, I'll be meeting with some of the family members in the coming weeks, and just to kind of get input, maybe ways that we can dedicate something for her in her honor, or to do something special for her. I want to make sure that we're respectful of, that they have the input as well, and we're not just doing something and then they don't, accept it or not. But I think that they would. She was just such a great person of great laughter, enthusiasm, a great friend, and I miss her for Taco Tuesdays. So a great person. Would anybody like to say a few, even staff, anyone? Mayor Pro Tem Baca?
Okay. I hope I can hold it. Carla was a good friend. I only knew her for 2 years. She sat next to me at the city council meetings, and we went together to the League of California Cities conference. We hung out. I introduced her to a lot of people, and she was just very grateful. She was a very grateful person. She was very humble, and she was just so pleased to meet all these people from our neighboring cities during that time. We also went to Washington, D.C. with the March Joint Powers Authority to lobby on behalf of the commission and the authority. And we went to a baseball game. And I remember it was just so cold, and we had to go buy blankets because we weren't used to that weather. It was so warm down here in Southern California. And when we got there, it was just so chilly. And she was just sport. And we stayed till the end of the game. Supervisor Hewitt said, "You can't leave before the end of the game. You never know." And sure enough, we stayed and we lost. But it was a great event. It took us a long time to get an Uber because I guess everybody was getting an Uber right after the game. Mm-hmm. And we had a good time. So I could remember those two events that took us to places outside the city where we were more informal, and we got to know each other very well. And I just can't believe what happened. I mean, she's such a young lady, 42 years old, and we just don't expect these things. And it's just taken us by surprise. And it's very, very painful. I want to say that. And I just want to wish her family healing. I know it's going to take a long time. You know, mourning does. A lot of people say, oh, it's time, but it's just that we get used to it. And I just want to send out my condolences to her mother, to her daughter, and to all her family and friends. Thank you.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. My condolences to, well, the child, her 12-year-old Corey. I can imagine what the grandparents are going through, because I would love to leave this face of the earth before my grandkids or my kids left, but it hurts so much because I knew Carla prior to her coming onto the council, and the moment I can share, the happy moment I can share, and I do have pictures of it. I attended her retirement party on the military on base. She invited me. I attended with her and her family. It was a beautiful ceremony. She was a very, very smart, intelligent young lady. And one day we were at City Hall. She came in. She was on the safety subcommittee, and I was a liaison to it as a council member. And her term was up, and she says, "I need to talk to you after the meeting's over," and walked out. And she says, I still want to continue my service to the city. What can I do? And I says, well, Carla, you know what? You've got the demeanor, you got the blood in you. Why don't you run for city council? She says, oh, you think I can really do that? I says, yeah, you got it in you, Carla. Run for city council. I'm pretty sure you'll be successful. And what else can I say? She became a city council member. I met her mom, Corey's grandmother, and it hurts. It really hurts because I knew the daughter, and she, I can imagine what she's going through right now. It's unbelievable. I would want to leave this face of this earth before my kids or my grandkids. But again, it saddens me to one of the family, and I call her family because we are family. We worked together. We did a lot of things together, and my heart really hurts for her and her family. And at this time, I just, there's no words to describe it. So I'm just going to leave that as is. Thank you.
Anyone else? Ulysses, Councilor Ulysses.
Thank you. Good evening. And this loss was completely unexpected. I don't think any of us foresaw this. And I remember, I think it was the beginning of December of last year, that she had a community cleanup over in Hidden Springs in her district. And we were both out there, she and I, with a nonprofit, Sigma Beta. And, it was a beautiful day, sunny day. The birds were chirping, and that was the last time I ever saw her in person, but just that conversation, always, every conversation that we had was always powerful. She was full of wisdom. She was just such a amazing person. Every time you talk to her, it was life-changing. And I did not know her for too long. I met her when she came on the council, when she joined the council. And in that short amount of time, I I remember I went up to Sacramento and we had breakfast together as well, just right across the street from the Capitol. And it's all those good moments, you know, that I will remember about Carla. Also the 4th of July, when she brought her parents to the 4th of July festival at Mountain View. And that's the first time I ever met her parents. I mean, she was a family woman, you know, single mother. She did a lot here, you know, whether that's her journey in the military as a veteran, advocating for veterans on the council. And she was just absolutely amazing, you know, and I do feel for her daughter as well. You know, I send my condolences to the Thornton family and especially Coral, little Coral. I love seeing her every time she was with her mom, you know. It just filled me with joy to see that, how much they loved each other. And you know, she will be dearly missed. She will be dearly missed. And Mayor, I agree with you. You know, you mentioned that, you know, we all want to respect Carla and her family, and I don't have any communication with her family, but you mentioned that you do. If I can just ask for a request, I think, you know, we have a demonstration garden being built in the future, and if the family is amenable to that, I would like to request that we name the garden after Dr. Carla Thornton. So if you could just ask the family, please, and if they're amenable to that, I would like to do that in her name. Thank you.
And thank you for the kind words. And, you know, Mike, do you have anything, Mike? Because you worked with her a lot too, Mike.
Yeah, sure. You know, Mayor, you know, Carla was such a beautiful person, and you know, as you know, once a week I have a chance to talk to her, to brief her on what's on the agenda, and also various business matters. And every conversation that we have, she's very intelligent. She asks fantastic questions, and she really fought for the residents of Moreno Valley. But you know, after our business meeting, we always end up. She will crack a joke or something and say something funny, and pretty much all the conversation I have with her, it has always been fantastic. And my memories of her is always going to be that you know, we ended up in a positive note. And even my last conversation with her has always been positive, and we were just joking around about different things. And her sense of humor is contagious. Her laugh is contagious. And you know, that day of January 21st, when we heard about the news, I think we were all in disbelief and shock. And you know, just walking around City Hall, there was also I was talking to the fire chief and also the police chief. There were a lot of tears. You know, probably firemen were crying, and also the people in PD, and there's a lot of people in City Hall crying. And so, you know, she made a tremendous impact to a lot of the city staff here. She was always talking to her city staff, and also she was also participating with the public safety. She was doing a lot of the you know, going to the firehouse, stopping by PD, and also doing a lot of the ride along. So. She strongly supported public safety, and she's very well liked by the public safety people, but also in City Hall. I'm really going to miss her. She was such a beautiful person, and I also do want to thank the leadership of you, the mayor, and also the city council. When we heard the news on the 21st, I mean, we had to drop everything. We were scrambling. I think we were in shock, and you know, and to this day, I'm still in shock. But I do want to thank everybody for working together and all the things that we had to do when the news came out on the 21st. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mike. All right. Anyone else want to say a few words, or?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to say just a couple comments.
Yes.
On the San Diego County Administration Building, there's a model, and that model reads that the noblest motive is the public good. And I believe Dr. Thornton epitomizes the substance of this model, in that she was a dedicated mother, a loving daughter, and she served our country with honor. So I think if anything, I'm sure and I hope that, you know, in her memory, her memory is going to inspire many others to follow in her footsteps. I didn't know her for long, but I picked up on that right away through my brief conversations I had with her on what she wanted to see for this city and what she's done for this city. And I think she's a great loss for the city of Moreno Valley and its residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Okay. Do want to mention, you know, she was our speaker for the Veterans Day. I don't know if you guys recall. And I think that was one of her last events, but so we're going to really, truly miss her. And yeah. All right, so we're going to go back here to the agenda here. We're going to go to item F2. I'm going to move F2 up, and the reason being is we have a lot of speakers. That's the item on the IRIS project and the district project. So we have a lot of speakers, and just kind of feel like, you know, we should probably just take that item first. So I'm moving that item up first, and then we'll just kind of go from there and go back to our agenda. Okay, so staff, you want to go ahead and start the report on that?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Temp, and City Council members. Before you tonight is a public hearing item consisting of 2 projects requesting amendments to the general plan. Under state law, cities are only allowed 4 amendments to the general plan land use element in 1 year. For this reason, staff has combined the 2 projects as one to preserve the number of amendments the city has allotted for future development of this year. Associate Planner Julia Dakota will present both projects tonight. Julia?
Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. The items before you this evening include 2 projects. Project 1 is Iris Park, and Project 2 is the district. Media, do I have a PowerPoint?
Yeah, I was just about to say, is it Pat or maybe media? Usually there's a PowerPoint. Tim?
Yes, I don't believe she has the PowerPoint loaded on this one. We're doing a staff share on that one. Julia, did you have a PowerPoint to accompany this?
Yes, just a moment, please.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Just so that way the public can see it too, you know, and everybody.
Okay, we'll be ready to go in just a moment. Sean.
Looks good, Sean. Just go ahead and make sure you hit F5 or full screen.
Thank you. Sorry about that. So
no
project
worries.
1, Iris Park. With that project, there's a general plan amendment, a change of zone, tentative track map 37909, and a conditional use permit for a planned unit development. Project 2 is the district. It includes a general plan amendment, an amendment to the specific plan 205, and the plot plan. Next slide, please. Project 1 includes a general plan amendment and a change of zone. The site is located on Iris Avenue, east of Paris Boulevard, and the proposed general plan amendment is changing from residential 5 to RS10, and the zoning for that would be a change of zone from R5 to RS10, and that would provide for a smaller lot subdivision. Next slide, please. Here's the tentative track map. It's for 81 residential lots. You can see it's a triangular piece of property. The track map will subdivide it into 81 single-family lots with associated improvements and features. The westerly portion of the site on the diagonal is the 100-foot State of California aqueduct easement, known as the Juan Bautista de Anza Aqueduct Bike Trail. In partnering with the city, the developer will provide landscaping for the trail site, and the city will construct the proposed trail meandering along through the mid to westerly portion of the easement from north to south. Next slide, please. Along with the tentative map for the 81 lots is a conditional use permit for a planned unit development, a PUD, which provides for greater innovation in housing development, including a variation in lot size and amenities not found in standard housing tracts. The PUD provides resident community park with a pavilion, a gathering area, picnic tables, and barbecues, and there's a smaller park offering benches and exercise equipment. Next slide, please. Project 2 is the second item before you this evening. The district is a project on the southeast corner of Heacock Street and Ironwood Avenue. It includes a general plan amendment from commercial to business park and a specific plan amendment from commercial retail to mixed use, along with a plot plan for development. Next slide, please. The proposed plot plan is for the construction of an approximately 230, 390 square foot light industrial building. The building will front along Heacock Street and Ironwood, meeting at the corner. There are 2 access points on Heacock and 1 on Ironwood, with the truck loading area located on the southeast side of the project. Next slide, please. This provides the elevation from the corner of Heacock and Ironwood. Next slide, please. And the landscaping provided along the frontage of Ironwood and Heacock Street for the project. Next slide, please. And with that provided for you in your packet tonight, recommendations for both Project 1 and Project 2. This concludes staff's presentation, and the applicants and consultants are here to answer any questions for you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. And we're going to do council questions of staff first. So just wanted to ask, just one really quick here. How long would the landscaping on Project 2, which is the Ironwood one, like how long would that take to, let's say that hypothetically the project was built, how long would it take for the landscaping to get all there, to be all completed?
Landscaping generally is assumed at total 15 years, but it doesn't normally take that long for the types of plants that they're proposing. In addition, you have the street trees, which are put in at a larger box than the smaller on-site trees. So generally the exterior street trees grow a little bit quicker.
Okay. So you don't know when? We don't know when?
No, well, each plant has a different variation of timing for full growth. The shrubs and those types of things will take less time, probably a year or 2 on most shrubs.
Oh, okay.
Trees, again, take a little bit longer to really fill out.
Okay. And then the only reason I was asking is because I know in the first part of the project, someone was asking, it's actually a few residents that were asking about, I know we've done this with other projects, but I was just curious if staff either looked into this or if Planning Commission looked into this. I know with some projects we've only allowed, like for example, like during the evening, late evenings, as far as like the trucks, the deliveries. Does this one have any of those limitations or anything like that? Julia?
The code doesn't have a specific, it doesn't have requirements for the operation side of it. During the construction phase of the project, yes, there are time frames where they can do the construction and not in the late hours, but the operational side does not limit in timing. What is limited in the municipal code is the noise ordinance, which requires that there be no noise or 55 decibels at the boundaries of the project site. So that's the noise attenuation that's for the project.
Okay. The only reason I asked too, because I think on Skechers they have, at least that's what I was told, they had something like that where they did their deliveries in the late evening, so that way there wouldn't be as much traffic during the daytime. But I understand if it's not feasible, just throwing it out there. One of the residents had asked about that, so thought I'd ask. But okay, any other council questions of staff? Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the presentation. Just a couple of questions. So in regards to actually a follow-up question that the mayor asked about the restrictions on schedules and times that trucks can come to certain developments, in this particular case, the one before us, is that controlled through our municipal code, or is that done on a case-by-case basis? How can those requirements be implemented in the city?
The code doesn't have any restrictions right now in the operation. It only would restrict by noise.
I think he's probably, is you referring to like a development agreement, if there was like some kind of agreement that was made?
Pretty much, yeah. Basically, would it be done on a case-by-case basis where, let's say we tell one project, or we require one project to only allow semi-trucks into the facility, past a certain time, kind of like the mayor was talking about? Is that controlled like on a case-by-case basis, like through a development agreement?
Yes, it would have to be through a development agreement, or if it were written into the specific plan. It is not in the specific plan.
A condition.
That's the way you would get it in there, yes.
Okay, thank you. And on the same topic of trucks, right? That is a concern for all developments, in particular industrial developments, because of the amount of traffic and air quality, et cetera, et cetera. This particular project, I know that developer has had conversations with us. And thank you, Ryan, for being here tonight. I want to make sure that we do everything we can, because there is residential directly across the street, to make sure that semi-trucks are not driving on Ironwood, right? That we do everything we can. Signage only goes so far. We only have so many police officers for commercial enforcement. So, I want to make sure that we do everything we can, if this project moves forward, to not allow and prevent semi-trucks from driving on Ironwood. We need to make sure that they stick to the 60 and Heacock and Hemlock to go to access the facilities, right? So that's one of my concerns, and I know that there's certain things that we can do. So just a note on that point. Another one of my concerns is in regards to noise. I actually live next to the P&G warehouse over here on Indian and Iris, so I'm very familiar with the noise that comes from industrial projects, especially at night. Specifically two types of noise. One is the beeping when semi-trucks are moving in reverse. They emit a loud beeping sound for security reasons and safety reasons. So people need to know that there's a large truck backing up, so that everybody gets out of the way. But residents who live close to the project can hear that. So one of the good things I know that the developer has done here is orienting the docks in such a way so that semi-trucks are not directly across from those residences. And then another type of noise is the actual trailers. When they're unloading and unhitching from the semi-truck itself, it emits a loud slamming noise when it hits the ground. So those are the two things that are concerns to me. I want to make sure that we address those as much as possible, whether that's improving the landscaping, like the mayor was kind of alluding to. If we can plant more mature plants, I know it costs a little bit more money, but if that's something that would help with the noise, I really would like for that to be done to mitigate some of these effects on our residents across the street. So, if you could look into those, please, I would appreciate that. And just kind of my last point here, I want to ask about the actual, the EIR and the environmental studies and reports on this. From my understanding, this project will meet LEED Silver equivalent. It's not necessarily going to be LEED certified, but if someone from our team on staff, somebody from planning, or maybe even Steve Q, you can jump in here, can just kind of give us a real quick explanation of what's the difference between LEED Silver equivalent and actual LEED Silver certified.
Oh, Councilmember Cabrera, I believe your staff is probably better able to address that issue from a technical perspective.
Julia, do you have someone to address that from staff?
Yes, a moment, please.
Or Manny?
Yeah, Mayor Pro Temp, council members. The difference is the certification. It's a longer process, and the only benefit, well, you do get some benefits with that. You can apply for grants and those type of things, but being equivalent, you'll have the same amenities that you would have with a certified. It just doesn't have the certification going through that process, which takes about 1 year to 2 years to get, and it's very costly.
The LEED certification?
Again, they will have the same amenities as, the equivalent is the same as the LEED certification, other than you're not getting that certification for it. So that's the only difference. Is it would be ready for if someone was to purchase the property and they wanted to certify it, all the amenities are there already. They would just have to apply and then go forward with the certification process.
Thank you, Manny. So yeah, as long as this project is going to be silver, LEED Silver equivalent, I'm fine with it not being certified, as long as it will meet all of the same, points that a LEED Silver certified project would. So I just want to make sure that that is part of, this project as proposed. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. It is in conditions of approval.
Oh, did you guys hear him?
A little bit. I think
it's slurred, Manny. He was slurring.
But I understood, Manny. So it is.
I'm sorry.
So it is.
It is. Yes, it is.
Okay. And I think just last comment, Mayor. I know that there are a lot of residents who are concerned about the project. I voiced several of my concerns already. However, we also have to look at the other part of this project. If it were not for these industrial buildings, we would not have Floor and Decor. We would not have the Sprouts coming. We would not have the new hotel coming in the future. So it's one of those. We're finding that balance. And another thing, the industrial buildings that are already up and pretty much done all have tenants, so maybe Ryan can share some more later on, but just wanted to make those quick comments. So I think that's where I'll leave it. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. All right, and then any council questions of staff? Any other council questions of staff? And we'll get to deliberation a little later after we hear the public comments, but any council questions?
Yeah, I got two, man.
Okay, Councilor Marquez.
Thank you. Julia, thank you for the presentation, and staff also. Julia, is this facility they're going to build? Maybe I should ask Martin on it, so I'll hold that off for Martin. When was the traffic and noise things done? Traffic for studies on this particular facility?
I will refer to the consultants for that. They were done, and they can give you more specific answers if you need them. The studies were originally done for the 2018 project, but then they've been updated to reflect the new project description.
Okay, you just said they were done in 2018, they were updated. Is there a change in results?
Can I? I don't know
Julia?
if it would help for me to answer that. So I think what Julia was describing is that the original studies were done in 2018 and then they were updated for this particular amendment and for this property. If there's any specific questions to that, we have our traffic consultant, Stephanie Herstein with Transpo Group is on the
And
call.
we'll get to,
as well as,
and we'll get to the applicant. We'll get to the applicant because we have another project too. So I have to balance it. We can't do that. So, but just as staff, if you could answer the question to the best that you can, or refer to Manny. Is there any other way? Is that the best? Okay. Okay. Any other?
Was that the final answer?
I guess so. Yeah.
Wow.
Mr. Mayor?
Oh, okay.
If I am back. Now I have to get, one of the things that's wonderful about Zoom is that I have access to my computer here. And so I took the opportunity to just look up issues dealing with LEED silver certification. So LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. And what this program does is it focuses on encouraging more sustainable approaches to designing buildings, constructing them, and operating them. So what's taken into consideration or assigned points are whether the project's sustainable in that it controls pollution and soil erosion, whether it's water efficient, whether it's it's energy efficient, and whether it's whether they reuse and recycle materials. They also look at indoor environmental quality, and you get extra points, which for other issues that may upgrade you to gold and platinum. I just wanted to point that out.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thanks, Steve. That was good.
Mayor, could I also add on that about the LEED?
Oh.
It is not currently a condition of approval, but we can add that to the requirement, to the conditions of approval.
Okay, Councilor Marquez?
Yeah, I guess I'm not gonna get an answer on my question. Yeah, that's, I was hoping staff would be more prepared. I don't know where the ball was dropped, but.
Okay, Councilman Marquez, would you mind repeating the question?
When was the last study done on traffic and noise on this project? I'm being told the last study was done on 2018 and it was updated. Okay, if it was updated since 2018, what's that date?
We should be able to answer that. That's pretty,
straight out. Yeah.
So you are correct. It was originally completed in 2018. The applicant and their consultants are available. My understanding is that it was updated in 2020 as part of this project and was ultimately reviewed by our transportation staff.
Is that in the staff report, Sean?
It is part of the attachments and it's part of the initial study.
Okay, see, I've never seen the attachments. It was never given to me or brought to my attention. Okay, I'm gonna have to live with that for now. Okay, thank you, Mayor.
So just to get clarity, I think I heard that it was updated in 2020, and then the traffic department looked into it as well.
Yeah, but he said there was attachments, and I never seen those attachments for the results. So, yeah.
Councilmember, thank you. Councilmember Cabrera.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Just a quick point of clarification. Julia, you made a quick comment there before Sean jumped on about LEED silver. Just want to make sure the project is conditioned. One of the conditions of approval is to be LEED silver equivalent. Is that correct?
We will be adding that condition of approval.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and so when we vote on, if we vote on it, it will be added to it, or do we need to say that?
Yes, you'll just say as amended, and then we'll add the condition of approval for LEED certified.
Okay, so you would have to say it as amended. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Julia. Okay, and then Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Baca, did you have any?
No, I have no questions for staff.
Okay, great. Okay, All right, at this time, I'm going to go ahead and open the hearing. The hearing is now open. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to hear from applicant testimony number 1, which is the first project. And then after that, we'll take council questions of applicant 1. And that's the time when we can ask the applicant 1 questions. And then the applicant 2 is actually Ryan. So Ryan, if you could just be patient. All right, so applicant 1.
Hello.
Yes, and you have 15 minutes, okay, as the applicant. You don't have to take the full amount of time, but most people don't, but you can if you want to.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to give my sincere condolences to the community of Moreno Valley for the tragic news with Dr. Thornton. Although I didn't meet her in person, based on everything everybody's been saying here, sounds like she was such a great person. So my condolences. First of all, also thank you, to council, and for staff report, for working with us for the last few months on this project. We really appreciate all of your guidance and assistance throughout the process. We're here. We have the whole team here. We have the architect, landscape architect, engineer. In case you have any questions about the project, any of the conditions of approval, we're open here to answer your questions. So thank you very much.
Oh, okay, that was pretty brief. Okay, thank you, Oscar. And like I said, not everybody takes the full time too, so that's okay. It's normal. Any council questions of applicant? I don't have any. For applicant 1, we do have one from Councilmember Cabrera. And then, yeah, Marquez after.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead, Cabrera.
I'll make it brief. Oscar, thank you so much for for being here tonight. I remember when we first started talking about the project, and now we're here. So I'm really excited about it. But one of the things that I guess in our previous meetings I had brought up was just, I know that you're adding a park. There's going to be a park in the neighborhood, a small park. But I was asking about kind of the lighting, because some of our parks experience, homelessness and folks going and sleeping there, and this area tends to have that issue, that nearby intersection, Iris and Paris. So I was just wondering if you were able to maybe improve some of the lighting from the initial, submittals, the initial plans, or do something else to try to address homelessness and loitering, things like that.
Are you referring to the park that's inside of the community, or to the Eastman Park that will be built next to the community?
I guess both. It would be both. But yeah, there's one at the entrance, right when you turn off Iris, and then a smaller one over adjacent to the trail. So I guess if you could speak to both, that'd be good.
Yeah. I can defer the question to the landscape architect. As part of the submittal, we have a lighting plan that addresses all the lighting we have. So all that is being taken into account. Mark, if you're available to answer that question, I would appreciate it.
Yes, I'm here, Oscar. My name is Mark Schattinger, principal with MGS Design Group. We know how important that lighting acts as making your families feel safe in their own communities. So we do have levels of lighting that provide safety and as well as deter homelessness. But we don't want to, the new Cal Green rules, we're not allowed to light anything that it's not intended for. So the neighbors can be assured that we're not spilling lightage over into their neighborhoods as well. And then we'll work with the city of Moreno Valley on making sure that the lighting for the trail through the easement is safe as well. I'm sure they have standards for lighting in their parks, and we'll meet or exceed those if that's your desire.
Understood. And I think that's all I have. I'll save the rest for deliberation. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other? Oh, Councilmember Marquez?
Yeah, I just got 2 questions. Well,
Okay.
one really.
Yeah.
Oscar, how you doing this evening?
Hi, sir. How are you?
Fine. Have we ever met?
I don't think so, but you look very familiar. I think you.
Oh, I've been told that many times too, but in my course of business here, my line of business here, I meet a lot of people. But the question I have, if we ever met, because it is standard in my policies that I meet with all developers or all projects that's going on, and it doesn't have to be in District 3, which this is not. And I wasn't aware of this project at all until it was brought up at my one-on-one with the city manager. I just asked in the future, if you can contact me with any improvements or anything that's going on with this project. I'd just like to know what's going on, and you know, that's all I'm really asking for. Secondly, as Councilman Cabrera says, that my district is not too far off from there, but I love the park. What I've seen of the sketch there, that short presentation, I love the park, and I want to say thank you for thinking about the safety with the lights, but the park was the main thing, because in our communities that we're being built now, we look at the parks as recreational. It might not be useful now because of the culvert, but once the kids are out there and able to get out of the house, I appreciate you putting that in the plans out there also. Thank you, Oscar, and thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Marquez. Any other council questions? Okay. Seeing no more for this one. Now we'll go to applicant testimony number 2. Okay, so we'll go ahead to go to Ryan Martin. And Ryan, you can defer to anyone in these 15 minutes, or you could be the person presenting, whichever way you like.
Okay, will do. Well, thank you very much, Honorable Mayor and council members. Pleasure to be in front of you again. And 2, I just wanted to pass along my condolences regarding Dr. Carla Thornton. Just obviously a wonderful person, infectious smile and laugh, and a tremendous advocate for the city. So it's a tremendous loss. So my deepest condolences. I had put together a presentation. I don't know if we can share that on the screen.
Oh, yeah, we can share that. Perfect. Well, go ahead and stop the timer.
I'll keep going. And really what I wanted to do, and Councilman Cabrera, you touched on a lot of these things, and I did speak to a lot of this during the Planning Commission, so I'll try and be quick, but I think it's worth understanding what we've done so far at what was the old Festival Center and is now the district. Just a little bit of a history lesson on where we were and where we are today before we get into the subject property. But when we first looked at this property, it was a couple of years ago, just about 2.5 years ago, that we were before you with a vision. And we were dealing with a center that had been essentially vacant for the better part of two decades. There were upwards of 40 homeless people living in the city's detention pond at the time. So it was just a tremendous challenge. And where we saw the opportunity was to build a Class A mixed use project that required us to bring in employment to help support the retail, and ultimately the retail would be an amenity for those employment centers. And we also thought about connectivity. And you can go to, I don't know if we can pull the presentation up, but what we were dealing with was Davis Street didn't go through. There was no connectivity to the center, and what we wanted to bring was an opportunity for people to potentially, residents and employees, walk to work, walk to restaurants, all of those things, because through our neighborhood meetings, the thing that was the common theme was that we wanted jobs, we wanted nice restaurants, and hopefully you can bring shops as well. And so, we're starting here, a very challenging environment, because as many of you know, the city of Moreno Valley is really over retail, meaning there's more retail right now, that can be supported by most of the residents. And so with that, we started down the path of doing the business park. And so we were very fortunate, through those efforts to get things kicked off and moving. But we were dealing with a center that had been, was dated almost the day that it was finished. And so from a vision standpoint, we wanted something that was sustainable. We didn't want something that was going to fail. And so it was important to us that from a design, we really wanted it to be timeless, meaning that we wanted it to look good, 10 years from now, not just the day that it was finished. And just as importantly, something that truly would stand the test of time. And so if you go to the next slide, please. We were dealing with, again, a very dated center. You had Old Home Base that had gone out of business within, the first 10 years that it was open in 1990. You had the old Edward Cinema 6 Theater go out of business. You had the old Red Lobster go out of business. You had the old Arby's go out of business. We can go on and on, but a very, very challenging environment. Next slide, please. And so you had a bunch of, what were boarded up buildings. It was really a magnet for the homeless, unfortunately, and again, a tremendous challenge. And so, where are we today? If you can go to the next slide. We built out the business park, as Councilman Cabrera alluded to. We now have tenants for all of those buildings. All of them are bringing jobs, the city hiring Mo Val first. We're talking in this entire project, hundreds, if not, the better part of 1,000 jobs when it's all said and done. But we've got a company, Greenball Tires, is in building 1. Local company, a great growth story, do a lot of aftermarket tires, whether it's motorcycles, golf carts, what have. Access Management is in building 2. Another company called TSC Apparel is taking building 3, and then a company called Corporate Office Image is taking building 4. Once we started down the path of the development for the business park, a lot of good things started to happen. We were introduced to Floor and Decor, who had a requirement. I can tell you point blank that we never would have gotten Floor and Decor if it wasn't for developing the business park. They just were not willing to go there. We had to do a very, economically beneficial transaction to them to get them to go to that. But nonetheless, we were successful. And so now we have a Floor and Decor that's doing phenomenally well. In addition to that, in addition to the developments, we were able to land Woodspring Suites Hotel. They would currently be under construction had it not been for COVID, but they're planning in the bottom right-hand corner of that slide, they're planning a 4-story, 124-room hotel, which we think is just going to be a phenomenal benefit for the city and for the project. And then, as many of you recently heard, we did just announce Sprouts. And so down south of Hemlock there at the bottom of the page, we've got Sprouts with some corresponding shops and a little junior anchor. We do also have a lease signed for the old Red Lobster building. That's with a great local retailer, another huge success story for them as well as this project. And then we're working on the old Arby's. I have a couple of leases that we're looking at right now for that building. So, it's an incredible transformation that it's undergone in a very short period of time. I guess I just highlight that, it was a very challenging environment. It took a lot of collaborative effort with the city to get to where we are today and a lot of hard work. Some people want to think that this stuff is easy, but it's incredibly difficult. And obviously, if it was easy, somebody would have stepped up and done it here in the last 2 decades. But we're just in a very, very challenging retail environment, very difficult, for a lot of tenants. Going over to the subject property, and we hear you as far as the LEED certification. We are committed to doing the LEED Silver equivalent certification. In addition, you had mentioned, or there was a question about adding some more mature trees. We did add a bunch of additional trees to this site. So that was the big thing. But maybe I can just, as we take a step back and go through a couple of slides, I just want to show you the before and after for the overall project, and then I'll get into some of the site-specific things. So next slide, please. So this is what we used to have as far as the pylon signage for the city. And again, we were going for a timeless design, doing everything in a first-class manner. So next slide. This is what our new pylon sign, 162-foot high, brand new pylon sign. Next slide. This was the old home base that went out of business. Obviously a very dated look before we remodeled and landed Floor and Decor. But next slide. And there's the new Floor and Decor. And then moving on to the next slide. This was a shot down Davis Street looking at the old Yoshinoya, which they are actually going to be doing a new prototype as well. So that will be a new Yoshinoya restaurant there. But next slide. Now you have a brand new business park. This, of course, is under construction, so all of our landscaping is not yet completed. That's still in process. That'll be finishing up here over the next 30 days as the tenants occupy. So next slide. This is what Davis Street used to look like. So no connectivity to any of the residents, any of the neighbors. Next slide. Now you've got a big, beautiful street, signalized interchange at Davis Street. As an anecdote, I saw 2 people walking their dogs in our project, which I thought was great the other day. That's really what it's about. That people could bike to work, walk to work, that you can actually have employees in these businesses walk to restaurants and what have you. That was our goal from the outset, and so it's neat to see it come to fruition. Next slide. This is the open field. You're looking at the old RVs there to the left. And then if you go to the next slide, this is just a rendering here, an elevation of the sprouts. But again, a pretty dramatic turnaround. We still have a tremendous amount of work still to go. Of the roughly 200,000 square feet of existing retail commercial space that we had, we still have roughly 90 to 100,000 square feet still remaining to lease. So there's a lot of heavy lifting to go, even though we feel like we've accomplished a lot. So next slide, please. So if you look at the subject property, the 10 acres, you can really see that it's kind of the missing puzzle piece here. We have taken a lot of consideration in terms of the residences and really dressing the building up. Also, we moved it back a little bit further from the street. Cabrera, or Councilman Cabrera, you had mentioned that all of the loading there is really protected and blocked by the buildings. And I do point out, if you go to the next slide, directly across from the site, we've got the SCE substation. So that's just something in terms of traffic and what have you, and access. We have that substation across the street.
There are 5 minutes remaining on the developer's time.
Great, thanks. And we can skip ahead. Next slide. This unfortunately is something that we see, in a lot of different areas, but unfortunately the site as it currently stands is really a magnet for homeless. This was a cleanup effort that took place in December. That's about a third of what was there. So from an environmental perspective, I'm a conservationist at heart. Knowing that this kind of trash and debris can get into the city streets, ultimately into the storm sewer systems, is not a good situation. You go to the next slide. Just highlighting this is a bathroom of one of our existing properties. Homeless came in and did tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage, to steal a few $100s worth of copper pipe. I just mentioned that again, it's an ongoing issue, as a result of this site and other challenges in that area. So next slide. So as Julie had mentioned, this is an elevation of the building. And then if we go to the final slide, you can see how it mirrors or matches in with that final puzzle piece. So, Councilman Cabrera, you had talked about access on Ironwood. Ironwood is technically a truck road, but our focus is really having all of the truck traffic, the ingress and egress coming off of Heacock. Obviously, an emergency situation, somebody could go out onto Ironwood. In all likelihood, they're going immediately then down south on Davis and back out Hemlock, as is virtually all of the truck traffic is expected to go. So we for us, this is an incredible rebirth. The district is, and so we're certainly proud of what's been accomplished in a very, very short period of time. None of this would be possible, if it hadn't been for the business park that was developed. But we are certainly open to adding the mature trees. Definitely open to doing, and we will be doing the LEED equivalent certification. So those are, I guess, my thoughts, and we're certainly happy to answer any other questions. And Councilman Marquez, just so you know, all of those studies were updated. So those are all current 2020 studies. So, and any of my consultants can certainly answer any specific questions. So thank you for that.
Okay, thank you so much, Ryan, for that presentation. We'll now go to public testimony. And but before we go to public testimony, I just wanted to ask the city clerk, how many speakers, if you could take a few moments to just kind of confirm how many speakers we have for F2 only. And then just let me know.
21.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do 2 minutes each for each speaker. And we'll go ahead and start with the first three.
The first three are Jimmy Elrod, Julio Flores, and Omar Gobian.
And then again, if we call your name and you don't come, then we're going to move on to the next person because we do have a lot of speakers tonight.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Gutierrez and council members. My name is Jimmy Elrod. I'm a proud carpenter and representative for the Southwest Regional Council of Carpenters, having the honor of representing roughly 55,000 hardworking and highly skilled carpenters all throughout the Southwest. On behalf of the roughly 800 members residing within the city of Moreno Valley, I speak tonight in support of public hearing item F2 Project 2. This is a project that, if approved, would create good paying jobs for the local skilled and trained construction workforce. The developer of this project has a proven track record of going the extra mile for the communities in which they do business and have demonstrated that they have the community's best interest in mind. I have no doubt in my mind that if given the opportunity, this would be a great project for the community. Our members live here, raise their families here, and spend hard-earned money here. It'd be great to see that they have the opportunity to work here. This project would provide that. I respectfully ask that you consider your staff's recommendations and approve this project as outlined. During such uncertain and challenging times, and with our economy in such a state of flux, I ask that you please seize this opportunity to aid in the creation of jobs. Thank you very much for your time.
Julio Flores, Omar Gobian, and Mike Dea.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. My name is Julio Flores. I have been a professional union carpenter for a little over 13 years now. For a majority of my years in construction, I have done most of my work in LA County, and I live here in the city of Moreno Valley. So I strongly support the district. Approval of this project means work closer to home. Those long drives away from home mean time away from my family. So to have the opportunity to work local gives me that extra time to be with my family. Not only that, but I pride myself in my work and knowing that the developer in charge of this project plans on using local, skilled, and trained professionals helps me to know that it will be built right and that many others who usually have to travel for work will have a chance to work in the city that they live in, not just while it's being built, but even after it's done and completed. So I respectfully ask that you please approve the district. Thank you.
Next speaker, Omar Gobian, Mike Dea, and Jason Baez.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Omar Gobian. I too am a union carpenter, but I've lived in Moreno Valley for over 30 years. I actually remember going to the home base. And actually my first date was ever at that movie theater back in the 90s. So I remember that shopping center very well. But it's always been an eyesore for Moreno Valley. For me, it seems like the last few years, I even, going to the IHOP or just, I always felt like it was something missing, especially coming off the freeway. It was always a reminder, like it was an abandoned shopping center. I think what is being done today is a great testament. And this project would give me and my fellow carpenters the opportunity to actually work in my city, in Moreno Valley, to shop and shop at Sprouts is a great store. Floor and Decor, I've had the privilege to be there already. It's awesome. I'm really excited what's going on. I used to live right off Ironwood and actually Pigeon Pass right up the street. So I know Ironwood very well. Right across from the Cardenas where it used to be a Cardenas before, but I know that corner and it's always been an eyesore for transients. And, I just can't share enough as a Moreno Valley resident. I think it's a great opportunity, not only for union carpenters to get work close to home, but to shop in our own environment. So I am in full support of this development, and thank you.
Next speakers are Mike Dea, Jason Baez, and Carrie Thin. Mike Dea, you need to do *6 to be able to speak.
Good evening. This is Business Manager Mike Day with the Laborers International Wyona, Local 1184 here in Riverside County. I'm calling in to speak in favor of this project and the 482 members we have living in the Moreno Valley commercial tilt-up industry. They actually live in the community here in Moreno Valley. I can't tell you enough how excited we are to get these projects approved and put people to work here locally. The local hire provisions that are in the agreements are great. It gives the members of the community the first shot at those projects where they can live close to home and work on these projects. It's just a huge transition and change, and Ryan's done a great job with us as far as reaching out to the community and helping us get our people to work here on this particular project itself. So we've been on a part of the first phase here too. So in addition to this trying times with COVID, I mean, it keeps our members home, close to home, to where they're not out taking a lot of risk on. And these jobs provide great wages and benefits and apprenticeship and medical insurance, to where, you know, if anything happens to our members, they've got good health care, good benefits that come at them, unfortunately, due to what's going on with the COVID era. But again, we are in full support of this project, and Ryan and the development there in the district. It's a great project. We will have hundreds, if not thousands, members close to home here working on and off all these projects around Moreno Valley. So again, I just wanted to call in and thank you for the opportunity to speak in favor of this project. Thank you.
The next speakers are Jason Baez, Carrie Thin, and Jan Zappardo.
Honorable Council, can you hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic. Honorable Council, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Jason Baez, and I'm a member of Laborers International Union of North America. And I fully support the F2 Light Industrial Building Project. This project is an excellent opportunity for our community, as it will open up the opportunity for many local young men and women who wish to begin a career in union construction. It was a project just like this that gave me my opportunity to come into our apprenticeship program. I had very little skills at the time, but our school and on-the-job training taught me everything from the floor up, and also provided me many different types of certifications and training and different types of skills that have opened up many doors for me throughout the years and granted me the opportunity to buy my first home and then my second, as well as help me take good care of my wife and 4 children with a living wage and full benefits for my whole family. These are the types of jobs we need here in Moreno Valley. Some may say that these jobs only last a certain amount of time, but that just isn't true. Every one of these jobs gives us an opportunity to establish new relationships with contractors, superintendents, and other workers of all trades. These relationships become lifelines that often carry us into the next projects. The applicant has graciously agreed to utilize union labor on this project, so we can be assured that this project will be built American Union strong from the foundation up, and will last over the centuries and wither all storms. It's not every day that we get great opportunities like this to enhance the lives of our community and add such a fine establishment to the city of Moreno Valley. This industrial building will bring much needed jobs to our community in a time when they are needed the most. Industrial buildings like this bring a long list of different types.
The next speaker is Carrie Thin, Jan Zappardo, and Jose Garcia.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. I would like to voice my concerns regarding the latest warehouse project that would be added to an already oversaturated industry within our city, and one that has no reduce, reuse, or recycle plan once it's completed. Item F2, Project 2, the district indicates that a massive warehouse would be located directly across from existing residential homes on Ironwood Avenue. The impact on the lifestyle of these families and the expected decrease in the value of their homes alone should be reason to reject this project. In addition, there is no effort by the developer to add a traffic light on Heacock Street to mitigate and reduce the traffic on Ironwood Avenue near the impacted residential area. As a result, trucks from the site will be forced to exit at Davis Street, especially during high traffic periods when left turns onto Heacock would be dangerous. The existing residents and homeowners deserve better in their well-established neighborhood. The developer should ensure their residential lifestyle is not significantly impacted due to lights and noise. The neighborhood views and walking routes to shopping on Heacock and the district shopping center must be reconsidered before the project can be approved. Another concern is the historical presence of the area on the corner. The project should use the site water tank as an architectural or artistic asset to pay homage to the underground aquifer and the importance of water to our region. Additionally, why is such a massive warehouse that has no tenant needed at this location? Our region has the worst air quality in the nation. We need electric semi-trucks and delivery trucks, solar-powered charging stations, and restricted travel hours in order to even consider this project. I recommend the developer reevaluate the project, add the artistic setback, reduce the project in size, add traffic control measures, and ensure the district neighborhood is actually one that's convenient for the families and the existing homeowners. Thank you.
Next speakers are Jan Zappardo, Jose Garcia, and Robert Then. Jan Zappardo, you need to do *6 to be able to speak, please. Jan?
Do you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. Good evening. My name is Jan Zappardo. I've had a business in the vicinity for over 45 years, and I would like to voice my support for the project. It's changed the area for the better since the original project, and how it's morphed into something aesthetically nicer. It's drastically reduced the homeless and the vandalism, which I very much appreciate. And I'm in support of the project, and I'm looking forward to the completion. And thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Jose Garcia. Mr. Garcia, you need to do *6 to speak on your phone. Mr. Garcia?
Yes. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Honorable Council. My name is Jose Garcia, and I am a member of LAUNA, the Laborers Union, for the past 33 years. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight on this item, the district project. I fully support the project and hope you will as well. This project has many benefits to our community. First, we have a great developer that has committed to pay good wages and benefits on this project. Second, it will provide much needed work for our local construction workers. Third, the local tax revenue created from the build and all the way through the project, and the opportunities of work that will be created on this project, is a true benefit to our community in a pivoted economy as we have before us now. I know that you've heard many workers speak before me about the union, and I want you to know that our doors are open for the community, for people that are hurting for jobs right now. We train the unexperienced people into new career opportunities in the construction industry. Please support this project. I've been a member for 33 years and rely on boards as yourself to create projects and work in the local community. I also heard that homelessness and stuff is a problem here. The homes that are being brought in on the other project will need this project with the services that will be available through it. Please support this project, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight.
The next speakers are Robert Then, followed by David Cordero and Juan Munoz.
Good evening. My name is Robert Fenn. I'm a resident of District 2 here in Moreno Valley. My concern is that you will not take a deep look into this project. Yes, the City Planning Commission voted 7-0 for approval, but there were planning commissioners who had concerns with the project. One commissioner, after a lengthy visit to the site to evaluate the location, went home with a heavy heart because of the decision he had to make that evening. A second commissioner initially was on the fence about the project. Both of these commissioners eventually voted to approve the project, both indicating that the applicant's comments convinced them to vote for approval. Concerning the applicant's lengthy comments, at the Planning Commission, they went on for 25 minutes, and they went on for 15 minutes tonight. Yet during that entire time, the entire applicant's comments were about the commercial side. I did not hear one comment about the warehouse. A third commissioner referred to the project as a square peg being put into a round hole in reference to the warehouse location being adjacent to a long-established residential community. The commissioner went on to explain their concern with the limited 150-foot setback and went on to reference the WLC plan that has 250 feet to 350 feet setback, plus a landscape 15-foot berm between the development and the residential homes. I don't understand that even with these expressed very valid concerns that there was no pushback on the developer to increase the setback to create a landscape green space to help soften the transition between the warehouse and the complex and the residential homes. I want you to know that if you vote for approval tonight, the home equity of those houses across the street will plummet immediately. Not a year, not 2 years, but immediately. Sellers will have to disclose that.
The next three speakers are David Cordero, Juan Munoz, and Tom Thornsley. Mr. Cordero, you need to do *6. Thank you.
Perfect. So good evening. First and foremost, I'd like to extend my condolences of Dr. Carla Thornton. My name is David Cordero. I'm a representative for the proud carpenters of Local 951 here from Riverside. And again, obviously a lot of the topics have been mentioned, as in local hire opportunities for some of the skilled workforce and so forth. Again, some of the members that live in Moreno Valley deserve the opportunity to not travel, be a little bit closer to home, work, make some decent money, and obviously stay or have more time with their family. So I encourage you to support and move forward with the approval and obviously adopt the resolutions for this particular project. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Juan Munoz, Tom Thornsley, and Brittany Goodrich. Mr. Munoz?
Am I on? Yes, am I on?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good evening, City Council. Once again, you guys prove, the City Council of Moreno Valley proves that they're pioneers in bringing good paying jobs to the city, to the residents of Moreno Valley. I want to thank also the developer for having some vision and courage in revitalizing that area. I've driven up and down the 60 for the last 15 years, and I don't think it's changed much. I think it'd probably go downhill if that floor and decor didn't come in. Speaking about that, I've spoken with quite a few residents and members who appreciate the city and their approval process of projects that pay good paying jobs. It allows them to stay home and spend more time with their family. I hope that trend continues and you approve this project. Thank you very much.
The next speakers are Tom Thornsley, Brittany Goodrich, and Todd Goodrich. Mr. Thornsley, *6 to be. Mr. Thornsley?
I'm unmuted, it said.
No, we can hear you now. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Council. A few hours ago, I sent the city staff a letter indicating that none of the studies that were provided for this project had been updated with anything that included this 9 acres for this 220,000 square foot warehouse. I know that the applicant says that they did, but if you go through all of the documents provided for this project, nowhere in there anywhere can you find that the biological study addressed these 9 acres. The traffic study does not address this project. None of the studies address it. And there were no addendums, no updates to be found. So therefore, this project cannot continue. You have not provided the appropriate review based on studies that never occurred. And this opens you up to instant litigation for this project, which is really foolish when you need to update it. Nobody has told me where I could find any kind of an update. And based on the available material that's posted for the public, it's not there. One of my real reasons for concern is that this site has direct access, ingress, egress, onto Ironwood and onto Heacock. And nowhere is there any discussion about how the left turn movements will occur out of this site trying to get back to the freeway. Both those driveways are not signalized or controlled in any way. Trucks will have to make a left turn across an arterial highway in order to head towards the freeway. You got to start over.
Okay, the next speaker is Brittany Goodridge, followed by Todd Goodridge and Paige Nash. Brittany?
Hi, hello.
Thank you.
You got it. Hi, I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank Alito Capital Group for seeing Moreno Valley as a possible home for its very successful endeavors in the future, because we are the future. We need more healthy, family-oriented, easy access grocery stores as well. And we need all the jobs and healthy establishments we can get and show other businesses that this is the future. So I'd like to take the time to thank them for really seeing that we're the vision from going from the 4th city on Forbes list, growing to the 3rd city. I'm really proud of that. And I want us to continue to push to possibly be #1 one day. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to my viewpoint. And we can also do some environmentally friendly projects. We should do that on the side, but not take the time to tear down these great people that have taken the time to plan all these details that have been there and have been shown in other slides. So again, I just think that we can all work together and have all of our projects and dreams fulfilled. Thank you very much.
The next speaker is Todd Goodridge, Paige Nash, and Marisa Quiñones.
Todd?
Todd? Star 6 to be able to speak, sir. Todd? You need to do star 6 to be able to speak. Todd? The next speaker, Paige Nash.
Paige?
She is not in the queue. Marisa Quiñones.
Maritza?
Marita, you need to do star 6 to unmute yourself, please.
There.
Thank
There
you.
you are.
Okay. Okay, hi, I'm Marisa Quiñones,
and I'm calling because I support the project F2. I think this project is good to create jobs, and it will help the community, especially during these hard times during COVID. So I just think everything should get better. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Felipe Delgado. Felipe, *6 to unmute, please. Thank you.
Are those the last two, Pat?
Felipe Delgado, Leticia is on the list, but she's not in the system, neither is Denisha. And then we have Alex Zamora and Luis Palomares.
Okay.
So just 3 more speakers that are inside the queue.
3, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hi, Felipe.
Good evening. My name is Felipe Delgado. I'm a union carpenter, and I've been a resident of the Inland Empire for about 11 years now. I'm asking the City Council to approve the amendments and resolutions tonight for the project. A lot of our members would love to work on this project for a few reasons. The developer made a commitment with the union carpenters that he's not just creating jobs, he's creating good paying jobs with good wages and benefits. It's in the city that most of our members live in, which will provide an opportunity to work close to home. They will be able to spend more time with their family, and they'll be leaving, working, and spending money on the city that they live in. And like I said, I repeat, that developer made a commitment with the community to create jobs, not just regular jobs, good paying jobs with good wages and benefits. And that's what I have. Thanks for your time.
And the last 2 speakers are Alex Zamora and Luis Palomares. Mr. Zamora, *6 to be able to speak, please. Mr. Zamora? Thank you.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yes, my name is Alex Zamora. I'm a very proud member of the Laborers International Union of North America, also known as LIUNA, and I'm in full support of this industrial warehouse project moving forward. We have seen projects like these over the years and how vital they are to communities in so many areas that are benefiting from them. I noticed a few people mention local hire, and I just want to reiterate how important that is. Keeping not only the laborers union, but all the other trades that are working outside of the area closer to home and off of the dangerous roads. I want to share a personal story. I have a brother-in-law in construction as well. He's been traveling from Orange County to Ventura constantly. He's going to be going from Orange County to San Diego pretty soon. It's very dangerous. He loses a lot of time with his family, just like my brother from the Carpenters mentioned before me. It's very, very, very taxing on him mentally and physically. I see it every day. I feel for him. I wish there was something more I can do, but something like this will open up, different avenues for people locally. As well as that, I just want to reiterate how important it is for people to have pride building so close to home and being able to tell their families that they were an integral part of making the area beautiful around them. So again, I'm in full support of this project. There's a lot of people that are going to be benefiting from it. No project is perfect, but I really believe that this is the right thing for this project to move forward. Thank you so much for your time, Mayor and council members. Have a great night and God bless.
Thank you, Alex.
The last speaker, Luis Palomares. Luis, *6 to unmute.
Hello, Luis Palomares, community activist here. It's an excellent project. It's about time something has come here. I've been here 32 years and just been a dirt lot there and a lot of homeless and everything else that goes along with it all. So I think it's an excellent project, thank God. I think we're a blessed community, a blessed city, because God has brought us a lot of good things here. A lot of jobs, a lot of revenue, a lot of tax dollars. And heaven knows we need them right now in the fix that we're all in with the COVID. Now, as far as some of the speakers, the vans, they're talking, I don't know where they get the facts and the thorns, because they're talking about all these different phony facts. I mean, where do they get these numbers at? And also, Council Member David said, wow, I didn't know anything about this. Well, where has he been? What world is he living in? What reality does he live in? He hasn't known anything about this. Well, you know, there's COVID too, right? Also, as far as the freeway thing, I don't know how close they want to get to the freeway. I mean, we're practically on top of the freeway. Why didn't they just build these buildings on the freeway? All you got to do is come out of the little street, Hemlock there, and get on the freeway, either which, right, east or west. I don't know why they make such a big, huge issue out about the freeway, this, that. I mean, it's a bunch of malarkey. This is a great project. I thank God it's coming to our city. We're going to get some more jobs and some more revenue. And I'm supported 100% with all the other speakers that know the facts and know what they're talking about. You know, I got 6 children and they commute to every community. They don't work here in their community. We've been here 32 years. They all bought homes here. They're still commuting, you know, so, and they got their masters and their doctorates and all of that to go with it. And they're still commuting. So how is it that, you know, this ain't a good thing for our community? This is great for our community. So we don't have to worry about the naysayers and the liars out there, the haters club.
Okay. That was the last speaker, I believe, right, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, we're going to go, I'm closing the public testimony. We're going to the applicant rebuttal. So we'll start with applicant number 1. There wasn't really any speakers speaking against it, but so I don't know if you wanted a rebuttal. Oscar? I don't know if Oscar's still here. There you are, Oscar. You're still here. You're like, I just want my project approved.
Well, you know, again, thank you for your support, and you know, we're here to answer any other questions, but we don't have any additional comments at this point.
Okay, great, thank you. And okay, we're going to go to applicant 2 rebuttal. And again, we're not doing questions, just a rebuttal, just to review any of the public comments if you desire. And we'll go ahead and put 5 minutes, okay? Developer Ryan Martin.
Yeah, and again, thank you for your consideration. You know, not much in the way of rebuttal, other than I would just say this has been a collaborative effort with the city. The only thing we want is what's the best for, you know, the long term of Moreno Valley, and that's why I referenced all of those things: timeless design, Class A institutional quality properties. There was a couple of comments about property values going down, and you know, I'm not sure again where that information comes from. I can tell you, you know, the property values before, you know, we got this kicked off were lower than where they would be, you know, now or when the development is fully mature and fully developed. So I mean, you know, to have brand new buildings, to have a brand new Sprouts is a pretty remarkable win. We think it's an incredible success story, the entire project, and again, just speaks to the collaboration between the city and ourselves on what you can make, you know, of something that was such a downtrodden property. And then, you know, again, we do speak to the business part. When we speak to this project in particular, that is what drove all of the retail demand. There isn't, I mean, I could go through a list, you know, of retail closures that we saw in 2018, 2019, and these are hundreds and hundreds of stores. Same thing with 2020 and 2021. And the reality right now is no one knows what the future holds. You know, we talk about trucks, we talk about noise. You know, in 10 years, will everything be autonomous? You know, trucks are autonomous. They're all electric. You know, 15 years, we're supposed to be not have any more, you know, combustion engines. So, you know, the world could be very, very different in 10 years. And so what we tried to do was something that was flexible, again, that could stand the test of time and be successful. So that's my rebuttal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close the hearing now at this time. We're going to move to council deliberation, and we'll do one round. I'll just go ahead and start. I'm in support of the project. I think that even though, you know, I have heard, you know, from some residents that are concerned about it, I do think that it's going to bring the jobs that are needed, also to shorten the commutes. I do want to commend the developer for really reaching out to LiUNA and also reaching out to our brothers with the carpenters as well. I think that's very important because that way we're hiring more local residents here from Moreno Valley. We have a very large group of them that are living here in the city of Moreno Valley. My other main thing is, just revitalization, of that whole area. I think, I've grown up here my whole life, lived here my whole life, and I've just seen just how everything went downhill, once the home base went out of business and then the dollar movie theater. And it's been like that for pretty much more than 2 decades. So I think, someone coming and trying to do something, I think that's a pretty good thing. I do understand, some of those concerns, but at the same time, at least it's going to bring some revenue also. And that'll also help us as a city. And again, I think we want that whole center to succeed. So I think approving this and finishing that last puzzle is a good thing. So I do understand those concerns, and I am open, if the rest of the council is open to, amending, as far as like mature trees or, even to, the LEED certification. I think Councilmember Cabrera, you mentioned something like that. Something like that to add to that. I think that's a compromise. I think that would be probably a good idea. Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Baca. You had your hand. I saw your hand.
Yeah. Okay. I'm missing my raise your hand button on this. On screen. I don't know what happened, but anyhow, I'm here, and I'm glad you recognized me and give me this opportunity to speak. I want to say thank you very, very much to both Oscar Graham and Ryan Martin for choosing Moreno Valley to bring your project. I'm very grateful that you chose Moreno Valley to do business. We're a growing city. We still have land. We still have opportunity. And we have a lot of people in the city that are looking for jobs. We have a lot of people that are appreciating what you both are doing here in the city. I think that this, the district, which is in District 1, which is the district that I represent, and I pass by this project, District 1, the district. I pass by this project on a daily basis as I live down the street. So I'm very happy to say that I support the project and that it's a long time coming. I know that when Floor and Decor first came in, it revitalized that area. And I know that a lot of people are going there. As I said, I go by there often and I see that the parking lot is full. And I know it's not only the customers, because I shop there too. And it's usually very busy with builders and people that are home because of COVID that are remodeling their homes. So I know that this store is doing well and expected. So I'm glad to hear that. Now, as far as the corner of Ironwood and Heacock, I think that this project will complement what's already there. And it will blend southward, where we'll have Sprouts and the other development that's going to happen right across the street from Floor and Decor. And it's going to revitalize what we're used to, because I know I've received a lot of complaints from the current tenants on the southeast corner of Hemlock and Ironwood regarding the homeless and how they break in and how they just trash the businesses where, they're urinating and defecating there. And imagine coming to work and finding that at your doorstep. So there's a lot that I think is going to improve this project in this area. And it's long time coming, like someone said. And I don't see how we can avoid the development of this parcel or parcels. And what will we expect to happen? So I'm just once again grateful to both Mr. Ryan Martin and Oscar Graham for bringing the Moreno Valley and choosing Moreno Valley to do business in. So I'm in support of the projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Any other council members? Okay, Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you first to Oscar, Graham, and Jeremy for bringing this project here to my district, to the District 4. Again, I think this project, I mean, I'm so happy to see it because I'm also in the trades. You know, thank you to all of my brothers, all of our brothers from the local carpenters, Jimmy Elrod, and all of our brothers and sisters from La Yuna as well. Thank you for coming to the meeting. And, you know, as a fellow tradesman, as a contractor, and also someone who, you know, really tries to understand and advocate for more housing. You know, we all know that we're on top of everything else. And pre-pandemic, we were in the middle of a housing crisis. We still are. And we need to build more housing. And that's one of the things that I hear a lot from constituents is, you know, we need to build more affordable housing, more market rate housing. And so that's what this is. You know, we're approving a project, or we're voting on a project that I'm in support of, that is 81 homes here, you know, on a lot that also has issues with homelessness, with littering, trash, debris all the time. I drive by it, and you know, we have to get code enforcement involved for the whole time I've been on the council. And now we're gonna have brand new homes there for families to go in, purchase in a beautiful community. It's gonna help out the surrounding areas, the businesses, the trail that's gonna be you know, built behind it, and the parks that are gonna be added. Just any time that I see housing coming before us, it's a no-brainer. You know, I'm all for it. I'm all in favor of it. Once again, I'm so happy that Oscar, you know, that you brought this project, and hopefully you build more houses in Moreno Valley, you know? So I look forward to, you know, to the project being built when the council is out there, you know, with our shovels and our hard hats on, you know, to do a ribbon cutting, hopefully. But just really happy that a lot more families, a lot more very, you know, much needed for people to purchase homes here in the city of Moreno Valley. So on the second project, Ryan Martin, thank you so much to you and your team as well for, you know, the work that you're doing there at the district, and really rejuvenating it, right? Reviving it, breathing life into it. And again, you know, this is not purely about, you know, the money and the revenues and the tax revenues and the jobs, right? Like, yes, this is not a perfect project, but like I said during the questions, this is with every project, you have to find that balance, right? Like how can we bring better paying jobs to the city and build projects, specifically industrial projects, to higher quality. This is why I've been pushing so much for you know, LEED certification. In this case, when we make a motion, I'll be making a motion to propose an amendment, right, to condition the project to be LEED Silver equivalent, in addition to requiring more mature landscaping along, you know, the exterior of the project. So I will support, you know, the mayor in those efforts as well, and thank you for, you know, moving forward with that as well. But like I said, I mean, this is going to really improve that area. It's right off of the freeway, the 60, with Sprouts coming, the hotel coming. I go to Yoshinoya all the time. I've been eating Yoshinoya since I was a kid in Los Angeles. I absolutely love it. And so, you know, we're gonna hold you to that remodeling. I'm waiting for Yoshinoya to get remodeled to those new ones that I've seen out in LA County. So overall, again, I think we're striking that balance. Personally, I believe that we are, with requiring LEED Silver equivalent and you know, additional landscaping, and you know, the developer Ryan, you've done everything that you can, I believe, your due diligence to really make this project the best possible project that it can be for our city. So you know, I am in support of it, and I will make a motion to approve the project, adding an amendment to condition it to meet LEED Silver equivalent building standards, and also to require more mature landscaping along the exterior of the project.
Thank you, Councilmember Cabrera. Any comments from any other council members? Councilor Marquez?
I guess I'm the last one. Okay, I want to start off by saying this. Oscar, thank you. thank you for choosing Moreno Valley and build some more homes. That's one thing that we lack here in Moreno Valley. And believe me, I support your project 100%.
1 second, Councilor Marquez. Can everyone mute their mics so that way it's clear for Councilor Marquez? Okay, appreciate it. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Oscar, again. When you developer comes to build homes in Moreno Valley, I'm 100% behind that, and I'm just happy for you. So,
Councilmember Marquez, can you try to speak into your mic because we can barely hear you? Thank you.
Oh,
can you hear me now?
A lot better. Oh, way better, way better.
So that's a city-wide issue. So,
yeah, way better.
Okay. Anyways, thank you, Oscar, for the homes that you come. Anytime a developer comes to build homes, thank you very much. Most of my time's going to be on project number 2. You know, a lot of people know and say, well, I don't do anything. You know, I know what's going on, but the speaker who said, I didn't know what was going on with this project, they didn't even hear the first part about the homes. So I want to leave that as is. Martin, your company has done a fantastic job out there. I can't say much more than my colleagues have said. You know, thank you for coming out and reviving that whole area. I love it. But unfortunately, there's negative things that also are concerning. And I just want to state this. 20 minutes before this meeting, I've got an email from a law firm that's questioning a lot of this project. Are we going to start all over again with another WLC and litigations? The other law firm is representing some families in the community in that area. We're going to have some more coming in after this project goes forward, if it goes forward, which I think it will, because I already got 3 votes. But I look at it this way, and nothing against your company, Martin, because you said you've done good for the city, what you've done so far. But I like when people buy votes. I don't like that. I know it's all political, but you know, I'm gonna give money to this council person because I have a project coming. You know, that's buying votes. Or I'm gonna give money to my candidates from the unions because they're gonna get jobs for the unions here. I'm a retired Teamster over 32 years. Retired Teamsters. I know what Teamsters go through, what the unions go through. I was supported very heavily in my last campaign. These speeches by these members, it just, they have a script. They read it every council meeting when there's a project like this in the warehouse. I asked a question about traffic, about noise, didn't get an update. And one of the speakers says, well, there's nothing on there. Well, when I didn't get no updates. So, you know, I'm not happy with that. I don't know all the information. I don't know what this will lead to with these attorneys. I don't know. Homeless. Let's not blame the homeless for the condition of that property. Homeless, you know, they have a place to go. They could have moved out if there would have been great enforcement. So don't say, well, it's better than having homeless here. Well, it's better to just have a clean yard. Your own backyard, clean it up. Don't blame other people. Well, that's a good excuse to put a warehouse in there. Don't blame the homeless. Those excuses don't work anymore. Property values. Yeah, planning commissioners did say some things. I listened about the planning commissioners. We live in Riverside. And I don't spend 3 hours driving around a project. I don't need to. I don't get the reports like I'm supposed to, updates. And we don't have the updates here, like what the speaker says. I never seen an amendment. I never seen an attachment. And you want me to make a decision on this project tonight? I honestly feel that we should just stop what we're doing right now. Say, hey, we'll come back to this at the next council meeting, and let us figure out what we're going to do with these other unanswered questions that I have. I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. Thank you.
There we go. Okay. Thank you, Councilor Marquez. All right. So at this time, I do entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendation. Mayor Pro Tem Baca, you have your hand up?
Yes, and I'm gonna do this and see if it's okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve items 1 through 9 based on the staff report as written and as amended, Councilman Cabrera.
Okay.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. So a motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Baca and a second by Councilmember Cabrera to approve staff's recommendations 1 through 9 with the amendment that Councilmember Cabrera had mentioned.
And Mr. Mayor, this is the city attorney. I'd just like to point out that that is a proper recommendation, a proper motion, and it is based on the written text that's included in the agenda packet and then staff reports recommendations with the proposed amendment to require that it be LEED certified silver.
And mature trees.
And the trees.
Okay. All right, great.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Councilmember Marquez?
Wait a minute, Pat. We're doing district project number 2?
It's all the project.
Can I stipulate that on my vote that project 1 is approved, project 2 is not approved by me?
Okay, so you would vote to approve the one in District 4, the Iris one?
Yes.
Okay, and okay.
Yes, I will note
And you'll vote. You'll note a no for the district project.
That's
project
not
number 2.
District 2, yeah, the project 2 will be a no.
And Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca?
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Motion passes. 3 ayes for project 1. I'm sorry, 3 ayes for project 2, 1 no. And motion passes for project number 1, 4 ayes.
Yes. And then
so for the record, that's a unanimous vote for items number recommendations 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 with it's a 3-1 vote on items 7, 8, and 9.
Yes, 7, 8, and 9 is the District 2 project. And that's the one that Councilor Marquez wants a no on. Right? Yeah. Okay, just want to make sure. Is that correct, Steve? Yep.
That's how it sounded to me.
Okay. Okay. All right. What we'll do is we have been at this for about 2 hours, so we'll take a 5-minute little break and then we'll come back. Okay, thank you to all the residents, everyone from La Una, carpenters for coming, and all of the staff from the 2 projects. Okay, we'll take a little break now. Tim back, David Marquez, Gilmore Cabrera. Okay, there. Okay, good.
I'm
Okay,
here.
so we're great. Okay, awesome. Okay, there's Marquez. Okay. All right. So, Cabrera. All right, we'll go ahead and go back to business here. We did have a special order of business report from Cal Recycle. So we can have that presentation. And it's just a receive and file. Marshall, are you doing that one?
Actually, Mayor, let me just, quick introduction. They will actually be able to share their screen.
Oh, great.
Providing the presentation. I'll just introduce Jill Larner with Cal Recycle, and I'll pass it along to her to introduce herself and her team as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Great. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and if I could figure out how to also share my video, you could see me. Let's see here.
Yeah, where there's a little camera picture and then you just click it.
Right, yeah. It's just all very condensed because I have my speaker view. Let's see here, bear with me.
Yeah, it should be on the bottom next to the microphone.
I know, I sat and stared at it for 2 hours and now I can't find it.
There you are.
Can you see me?
Yes, you're good.
You can see me. Okay, wonderful. I apologize. I am so sorry. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Thank you very much for inviting us to present this evening. I'm Jill Larner. I'm with Cal Recycle, and I have 3 other people here with me today from Cal Recycle. I have my branch chief, Kara Morgan, and Julie Trueblood, my manager, and also Malia Helms is a member of my team that works directly with the city. And I'd like to say thank you to Angelique Davis in Financial and Management Services with the city and her team for working with us on the city's solid waste management programs. This presentation provides a very high-level overview of the requirements of SB 1383, and it should take about 15 minutes, and then we'll have time for questions and answers. And if at any time, technology, just stop me.
Yeah, just go ahead and keep going through your presentation and then, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Why is SB 1383 important? I'm sorry. Organic waste is the largest waste stream in California, and at the same time, 1 in 5 Californians are food insecure. SB 1383 passed in 2016 as part of California's larger strategy to combat climate change. The law was designed to reduce global warming superpollutants like methane, which is up to 85 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Landfills are the largest producers of methane in the state. And as we know, when organic materials break down, methane is generated. So we need to move away from landfilling organic waste. SB 1383 requires California to reduce organic waste disposal by 75% by 2025 and increase edible food recovery by 20% by 2025. Organic waste is defined broadly in the regulations and includes food waste, paper, cardboard, green waste, organic textiles, carpets, lumber, wood, biosolids, digestate, manures, and sledges. Cal Recycle's been collaborating with jurisdictions and other stakeholders for over 3.5 years to complete the regulations, and they were finalized in November. While they take effect in 2022, jurisdictions have to plan now so they can be in compliance by January 1, 2022. There are many benefits to California if we successfully implement the super pollutant reduction strategy. Benefits include environmental benefits such as fighting climate change, improved air quality, and less landfilled waste. Benefits such as providing millions of meals to Californians without enough to eat, and also creating thousands of new green jobs. As I mentioned, the regulations are final. They go into effect January 1, 2022, and they become enforceable at that time. This means starting at that time, jurisdictions must have their programs in place, and Cal Recycle can begin enforcement actions on jurisdictions and other entities. In 2024, jurisdictions will be required to take enforcement action against non-compliant entities within their jurisdiction. This slide provides a very brief overview of the program requirements that jurisdictions will be required to adequately staff and resource, which are shown on this slide. Jurisdictions will be required to provide organic waste collection services to all residents and businesses. This is what we refer to as automatically providing service or universal service, in which the resident or business is automatically provided the service rather than subscribing to it. The regulations standardize container colors across the state to be fully implemented by January 1, 2036, and require jurisdictions to place a label on each new container or lid provided to generators consistent with the container collection requirements, and that begins January 1, 2022. There are contamination monitoring requirements. Jurisdictions typically will delegate this to their hauler. Jurisdictions can issue 3 types of waivers to waste generators. There are de minimis waivers, physical space waivers, and collection frequency waivers. CalRecycle can issue waivers to jurisdictions which delay or excludes implementation of some of the requirements, and these include low population waivers, rural exemption, and high elevation waivers. The regulations also place requirements on residents and commercial businesses, but I'm not going to go into those details in this presentation tonight. Jurisdictions must conduct annual education and outreach to all generators, and this includes information on methods for the prevention of organic waste generation, recycling organic waste on site, and sending organic waste to community composting. It also includes information regarding programs for the donation of edible food. All education and outreach must be provided in linguistically accessible information. Jurisdictions must procure certain levels of procured organic waste products. Each jurisdiction will have a minimum procurement target that's linked to its population, and there are requirements to purchase recycled content paper and paper products. CalRecycle will be providing a calculator for jurisdictions to use to calculate their progress towards meeting the procurement target. And CalRecycle will be notifying jurisdictions of their procurement target prior to January 1, 2022. Requirements also include adopting an enforcement ordinance or other enforceable mechanism consistent with the regulatory requirements prior to January 2022. And we have model tools available that can help the city and with these requirements that I'll cover later in the presentation. So this slide shows that SB 1383 extends beyond directing just the waste management staff and recycling operations within the city. It shows that every department within the city will be affected and will have a role to play. Each department will need to understand how 1383 impacts their work. Jurisdictions should be thinking and planning for the staffing they'll need, whether they will task their direct service providers, their haulers, to staff some activities, or whether they will contract with other entities such as environmental health inspectors or use consultants. Jurisdictions are responsible to implement edible food recovery programs in their community. This slide covers commercial edible food generators defined as Tier 1 and Tier 2. The edible food recovery requirements include providing education and outreach, assessing capacity of existing edible food recovery, and expanding that infrastructure if necessary, conducting inspections of Tier 1 commercial edible food generators and food recovery organizations and services beginning in 2022, and inspections of Tier 2 commercial edible food generators beginning January 1, 2024. Regarding inspections, jurisdictions are required to inspect Tier 1 and Tier 2 commercial edible food generators to verify they're recovering the maximum amount of edible food possible and not intentionally spoiling edible food that is recoverable. Inspections should be at a level or rate to adequately determine compliance with the requirements. And annual inspections of commercial edible food generators are not required. Beginning in 2024, jurisdictions must take enforcement action on commercial edible food generators that are out of compliance with the commercial edible food recovery requirements. There are record keeping and reporting requirements. So jurisdictions should be planning now for this program, deciding which staff will have what responsibility. For example, some cities will be utilizing health inspectors to conduct the inspections, and some could utilize public works staff to conduct the capacity planning and provide the education on edible food recovery. The county and each city, regional agency, and special district that provides solid waste collection within the county, and I'm going to refer to these latter entities as just jurisdictions. So the county and each jurisdiction within the county must plan for adequate capacity for recycling organic waste and for edible food recovery. So there's two capacity planning requirements. For edible food recovery capacity, each county and jurisdiction within that county must plan to recover edible food for human consumption from the Tier 1 and Tier 2 commercial edible food generators. The county will lead this effort by coordinating with the jurisdictions to estimate existing, new, and/or expanded capacity. Counties and jurisdictions within the counties must demonstrate that they have access to existing recycling capacity through existing contracts, franchise agreements, or other documented arrangements. The counties and the jurisdictions within the county must consult with the following entities for organics recycling capacity planning: the local enforcement agency, solid waste facility operators, and community composting operations. They're also required to consult with food recovery organizations and food recovery services regarding capacity that can be accessed by each jurisdiction and its commercial edible food generators. Each county and jurisdiction within the county that lacks organics recycling and/or edible food recovery capacity must submit an implementation schedule to CalRecycle that includes specified timelines and milestones, including funding to expand the necessary recycling or edible food recovery facilities. And I want to note that the capacity planning requirements don't require estimates to be exact or absent of any error or uncertainty. Rather, it requires each estimate to be conducted in compliance with requirements of the section. The county must collect the data from the cities on a specified schedule and report it to CalRecycle. Cities are required to provide their required data to the county within 120 days, and the county must notify the jurisdictions if they do not have capacity. Start year for the planning and reporting is 2022. The report must cover 2022 to 2025 years, and the next report is due in 2024. It will be due every 5 years, and we'll plan for a 10-year horizon. By January 1, 2022, jurisdictions are required to have an enforcement mechanism or ordinance in place. Between January 2022 and December 2023, jurisdictions need to identify businesses in violation of the requirements and provide education to those generators. Jurisdictions must do annual compliance reviews of commercial businesses, and this is what you do now for mandatory commercial organics recycling, reviewing service levels to make sure they have service. Beginning January 2024, jurisdictions must take progressive enforcement action against organic waste generators that are not in compliance. The progressive approach allows for notification to the generator and provides time to comply before penalties are required to be issued by the jurisdiction. CalRecycle sets a maximum time frame that a jurisdiction has to issue a notice of violation and issue penalties to the generator. And the jurisdiction has flexibility to develop its own enforcement process within these parameters. So an early and robust education program will minimize the amount of enforcement action needed. And also, when services are automatically provided to waste generators, to residents and businesses, there should be little need for enforcement. CalRecycle, there is a lot of notes on this slide I'm going to make very brief, but CalRecycle will authorize low population and rural waivers, which delay or exclude implementation of some of the requirements. In this case, entities such as public universities, school districts, federal facilities, which are exempt from solid waste local oversight, CalRecycle will be directly responsible for ensuring compliance of these entities. However, jurisdictions are required to provide education and outreach to the entities. CalRecycle will be evaluating compliance for each jurisdiction by verifying that all organic waste generators have service and jurisdictions are providing education, for example. SB 1383 is a statewide target, not a jurisdiction organic waste diversion target. Unlike AB 939, where there was a specified target for each jurisdiction, SB 1383 prohibits a jurisdiction target. Due to this structure, The regulations require a more prescriptive approach and establish state minimum standards. Jurisdictions have to demonstrate compliance with each of the prescriptive standards rather than the determination of good faith effort. However, CalRecycle has included some aspects of flexibility in its enforcement of the regulations that are similar to the AB 939 good faith effort requirements. The enforcement structure allows CalRecycle to focus on compliance assistance first and dedicate enforcement efforts to serious offenders. The regulations allow for flexibility and deadline extensions in some instances when there are extenuating circumstances causing compliance issues despite a jurisdiction's substantial efforts. CalRecycle will conduct compliance evaluations to address compliance issues first, and then if issues are not addressed, we have the discretion to initiate enforcement process. And the enforcement process is escalating. The timelines are not triggered until a notice of violation is issued. And CalRecycle will consider the totality of circumstances surrounding a jurisdiction's compliance prior to issuing notice of violations. And CalRecycle just retains discretion as to whether to issue notice of violations and to issue notice of violations, but not seek penalties. I'm going to stop right there on the enforcement process and answer questions on it later if you have more. Some tools that have been prepared under contract with HF&H consultants are a model franchise agreement, a model mandatory organics disposal reduction ordinance, model ordinance, organic waste product procurement policy for compost, mulch, renewable gas, electricity from biomass, and recycled content paper, and a model edible food recovery agreement.
Jill, Jill,
yes?
Really quick, how many more slides do you have?
One.
Oh, okay.
One after this. Actually, this is actually the last one with content. I just want to cover some of our resources that we have available.
Okay.
We have a local
if you could do that briefly, thank you.
You bet. We have a local service rate study available. We have case studies from jurisdictions that have set rates and funded infrastructure and provided education and outreach to elected officials. We have model signage. We have web pages by topic and by audience. We have extensive FAQs on our web pages. We have a procurement calculator tool that's available now. We have regional webinars coming out, and I've provided all that information and the dates to Angelique Davis and her staff. So we'll make sure that you get those information. And we are also available to create personal customized tools for the city if need be. And I have Kara Morgan here, my branch manager, to answer questions if you guys have questions.
Well, thank you first, Jill, for the presentation, the very thorough presentation. Again, it's just a receive and file, but if any council members have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Baca, I see.
Actually, I don't have a question. I just wanted to say that when I was a kid, I'm talking about like 57 years ago or so, before you were born, Mayor, I remember that we used to have a garbage can and a garbage truck. They used to come and collect garbage. So is that what we're doing now?
Jill?
You used to have a garbage truck that came and collect garbage?
Oh, you're muted, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, we did.
Yes, well, now you have multiple trucks that come by and collect multiple streams of materials. And hopefully the smallest can goes to the landfill. Yeah, you guys have yeah, and Angelique can answer this better than I do, but you probably have a green can for organic materials and a blue can for recyclables and a gray can for trash.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, no, seeing none. Okay, well, thank you so much, Jill. Thank you, Kara, Jill, for coming, and we appreciate it. And we're really looking forward to addressing this as a council and as a city. So thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, at this time, thank you again. At this time, we're going to go ahead and hear public comments on matters on the agenda and also not on the agenda. And I will ask the clerk, Madam Clerk, how many speakers do we have on this item?
We have 6 speakers.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do 2 minutes each. Normally there are 3, but we'll just do 2 minutes each. Again, it's on items on the agenda or off the agenda. And
Okay.
go ahead and call the first 3 speakers.
Yes, sir. The first 3 speakers are Angel Lopez, Tahir Chaudhry, and Robert Ben.
Yes, hello, Mayor. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council, Mayor, Council members. Thank you for the memorial for Dr. Thornton. We certainly mourn our loss in our community. She was my elected representative. Thank you for commemorating her service. My comments on the non-agenda items were an item that I saw on Next Door Neighbor discussing jobs in Moreno Valley, about starting to rebuild our local economy. And just to bring you up to date on the latest information with the California EDD, of course, during COVID, at the height, we lost 14,700 jobs. And here we are in January 2021 with the latest results from the California EDD. That figure has dropped to 10,100 unemployed in Moreno Valley, which leads me to the agenda item. I'm just bringing that up on my screen here. And that is for item B5 to approve an agreement for professional consultant services with Kingsley Horn and Associates. I did my research on where this company was located, and I found they are located in North Carolina. So the city is proposing sending $171,000 to an out-of-state company. And looking at their business filings for California, I cannot find anything for California. It's all North Carolina, although they do show an office in Riverside. But doing a fictitious business search, nothing can be found for California. So once again, the council sending contracts to places far away, like Modesto, Norwalk, and now North Carolina in the last 2 weeks to almost $1 million does not help our local economy to bring that number down from 10,100 unemployed in Moreno Valley to even lower. So please do not vote on this contract agreement to go out of state. Thank you.
The next speaker is Tahir Chaudhry and Robert Ben.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hi. Hope you guys are doing well. My name is Tahir. I'm going to be talking on behalf of my dad and brother who run a small trucking company. I recently sent an email regarding truck parking on the eastern side of Moreno Valley last week or 2. Basically, I live on the eastern side of Moreno Valley where there's a bunch of truck drivers that live here too. And they also have a problem with parking. Obviously, they're semi-trucks. At first, my dad and brother were parking at Aldi and Walmart, but they eventually started getting fined. And then they eventually moved where P&G is, and they started parking there. But now it's getting very hectic and gets very busy. So now my dad parks in a different city, which makes honestly business a lot harder. And also my dad, when he was parking at P&G, there's a lot of theft that was going on. He probably spent around $10,000 on just fixing stuff back up. And if you are on the eastern side of Moreno Valley, you can see that 2 or 3 trucks are parked on every empty plot. So if there's anything you guys can do to have truck parking on the eastern side, that would help a lot. Thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you, Tahir, and thank you for coming. Usually we don't get that many new people that come to speak, so thank you.
The next 3 speakers are Robert Ben, Tom Thornsley, and Bob Palomares.
Good evening again. Carrie and I and the rest of our family would like to send our condolences to the Thornton family.
And we, like everyone else, were in shock and disbelief and profoundly saddened when we read of Carla's passing. It is so unfair that someone with so much more to do and accomplish in life had been taken away from all of us so soon.
Like so many, I was happy to be rid of 2020 and all its carnage. I lost 2 brothers and a very close, longtime good friend and neighbor. With 2020 gone, we hope that 2021 would give us a much needed relief and break. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. The mere changing of a calendar year has not given us the hoped relief we wished. We will endure and pass on. We all need to look out for each other and work for a safer, healthier, and more secure world.
And I would just like to share something that Robert and I spoke about many, many times. Carla and her daughter Coral came to our house some time ago for a fundraising event. And unfortunately, we had experienced an attack of gophers. And for that event, we attempted to fill the holes. But unfortunately for Carla, she wore heels to that event and fell into one of those gopher holes. And she laughed it off, and we giggled, and her daughter giggled. And I have to say that her laugh was infectious. And while we were political rivals, we were never enemies. And I was in tears. Robert was in tears, and we are so very sorry, and want to express our condolences to the Thornton family. Thank you.
And to you, the council, as you worked with her, were very close with her. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The next speaker is Tom Thornsley, Bob Palomares, and the last speaker will be Luis Palomares. Mr. Thornsley?
Good evening, council members. I'd like to send out a thank you to your street department. They've been involved in cleaning up the trash out here along the roadsides on Alessandro and Theodore and down on Davis Road. I would say since before Christmas, they've been out here 3, 4, 5 times. The saddest part is their work never ends out here because there's a lot of people in this community or in neighboring communities who just don't respect the environment. They think it's okay to pull over to the side of the road and dump out their trash. I wish we could find a better way to stop it. I've suggested one option was to have the connection of Davis Road at Theodore gated up here so that cars can't drive down towards the gate into the wildlife area and dump trash that entire length. It's just appalling what's out there on a weekly basis. And then have to also give some credit to the code enforcement department for coming out into the fields out here in our area. And or not, they don't come out, but they make an effort to get a hold of the property owners and try to get stuff cleaned up. And I really feel for the property owners because it's no fault of their own that somebody drives out on their property and dumps trash. And this isn't a unique problem just in our area. I know it happens on the north side of the freeway, off of Redlands Boulevard, back up into the hills up there. It happens up into the hills on the north end of town. I really wish we could find something to do on here because the expense to the city might actually go down if the city would use what would be the equivalent money and invest in some cameras.
The next speaker will be Bob Palomares, and Luis Palomares is the last speaker. Bob?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, well, I just wanted to express my condolences to Dr. Thornton's family. It's just a tremendous loss in the city. And I just want to remind everyone that whenever you spoke to her, and you'd go and talk to her, before she even said anything, she always put a smile on her face. And I think that's one way we can remember her smile. And it's just a sad loss for the city, but we'll go on, we'll survive. Be hard to replace, but we'll keep going. And I was listening to that Cal Recycle, what they were speaking about. It sounds to me like that's just a moneymaker you know, they're bringing something out that perhaps we do need it. But the thing is, this state, the state of California, is in big trouble with the recycling of aluminum and plastic. It just doesn't, it's not working anymore. You know, we pay a lot of money and the state doesn't give the people back what they pay. You pay 5 cents for every can and plastic bottle. And now all the recycling places have closed down. There's a few that are still around. But I think this is just a moneymaker. If you can't take care of what you were working on before, don't start nothing new, because I have a feeling that somebody's going to be making money off of this, because nobody's going to do this for free. So, you know, be aware. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Bob.
Luis Palomares. Luis? Star
Luis?
6 to unmute you. You need to star 6 to unmute yourself. Luis? Luis?
Hello,
There she
Luis
is.
Palomares, community activist. I'm calling to offer my condolences to Dr. Carla Thornton and her family. I got a beautiful memory when she got sworn in by her daughter. That was, God, that touched my heart. It was beautiful. I was thrilled to see that. And she was a brilliant woman, brilliant, amazing, giving, kind. Like Bob said, always had a smile on her face. She had a true heart of a servant, because she was here to serve, not to be served. She served the military over 20 years. For such a young woman, 42 years old, to serve over 20 years in the military, then to serve in a lot of other committees that she always gave herself to, then to be a teacher, professor at Cal Baptist. She was an amazing woman. I mean, golly, a lot of people can't hold a candle to her, and we could never replace her. We'll never be able to go there. She was just too good. Well, right now she's with her maker, and she's in that army, you know, the army of the Lord. What a mighty army. And her faith was, she had a very faith, true faith. And she was just a giving and kind woman. And we just thank God that we had the small privilege of knowing her for the time we knew her. It was, you know, the honor was all mine, that I got to really know her and meet her and, you know, interact with her and enjoy her. And like I said, she had the true heart of a servant. She always cared about people, always serving the community and did what was right for the community, not about her. It was always about somebody else. And I just want to read this. And, you know, it kind of helps get us strong here. It's from the word. And it says, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you everywhere you go. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So my hat's off.
Okay. Thank you so much, Luis. Thank you for that. All right. At this time, we're going to go to our consent calendar, but prior to going to our consent calendar, Madam Clerk, if you can just make a note for staff to just reach out to Tahir, just to kind of follow up with his concern about the truck parking area. I think there was a business that was looking into doing something like that in the East End, but I'm not too sure. But if we can follow up for him.
Mayor, real quick on that. The gentleman did contact me, email me, wanted me to work with him, but I haven't had a chance to get with you or staff on it. So I'll touch bases with you tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, we're now going to move to our joint consent calendar, sections A through E on the agenda. All items considered consent calendar sections A, B, C, D, and E are considered to be routine and non-controversial and may be enacted by one motion. And this motion to adopt the consent calendars is deemed to be a separate motion by each agency and shall be so recorded by the city clerk. Any items for discussion or separate action? Okay, we'll start with Councilmember Cabrera. He had his hand up first.
Thank you, Mayor. Item A8 for comment and question, please.
Okay, so we'll go We have item AA for question and comment. Any other one? Anybody? Councilor Marquez?
Yeah, there you go. Wow. Real quick, just some information on A6, more in detail on A6.
Information on A6. Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and start with A8. Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you. My first question, actually, to staff, whoever is the appropriate person, please speak up. But my question is about the actual funding. So just want to make sure I have a good understanding, because I know that we applied for a grant specifically to build and construct this proposed dog park. However, I wanted to see if we have secured that funding from the grant. If not, when are we going to hear back to see if we did get that award?
Is there staff to?
Sure.
Who's sure?
This is Patty Solano.
Oh, okay, there, Patty. Okay, there you are.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Good evening. Councilmember Cabrera, the dog park is item B5. Is that the item you wanted me to speak about?
Oh,
instead of A8?
Did I pick the wrong item?
Well, it's not necessarily the wrong item. It just depends on which one you wanted.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, you are right. Wow. And so B is coming up next. Is that correct?
B is with consent now with the dog park.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to ask questions and comments about that one. So is it possible to do that now, Mayor?
Yeah. Because it's basically, it's
yeah.
a
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Patty, thank you.
So yes, to answer your question, Councilmember Cabrera, this is a grant that we are applying for. It was originally due in December, but due to COVID, the state Parks Department extended it to March 12th. And so the application has not yet been submitted. In order to submit and be competitive in this grant, you need to have a conceptual site plan. In order to do that effectively and then effectively know how much grant money we would need to build this, we needed to have an outside firm because the city doesn't have architects on staff, and we need to do grading, we need to look at water quality, topography. Over the years, the state has gotten much more strict on requirements for projects. So this is the best way to handle that. So we have a very competitive application for a program that's extremely competitive statewide.
Okay, that's good to know that it's basically a requirement, right, to have some designs and the architectural designs and plans to even apply for the grant. So that's good to know for residents out there who were asking about that. I did not know until just now. I guess my follow-up question on that, because from my understanding, we're using Park Diff for this item. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I just want to make a clarifying point as well on this agreement with Kimley Horn. There's project management and construction management listed in this agreement. This isn't all just for a design. So if we were unsuccessful, we wouldn't be expending those funds for the project management and the construction management.
Okay, got it. And that was actually going to be my next comment, because it's not just the design. Like if you read the item, if you see the wording, it also talks about construction and all of that. So thank you, Patty, for clarifying that as well, that if we are not awarded the grant, we won't be spending all of that money. So that's good to know. But I wanted to bring up Park Diff because this is not general fund money. This is development impact fee money that it's there. It can only be used for parks. We can't use it for anything else, and it's just sitting there. So I think that this particular item, it makes sense, right? I think I'm not against the dog park at all. I love dogs. Actually, I'm trying to get one in the near future, but I just wanted to, I guess, throw something out there, propose something, because again, it makes sense to build it behind the animal shelter. it makes sense. People bring their pets there, their dogs there, stray dogs that come to the shelter will have a place to, play and hang out with other potential, adopters and all of that. But I think another good location could also possibly be next to the amphitheater, next to the demonstration garden. So I think both maybe make sense, but I just wanted to throw it out there in case some of my colleagues, would prefer to have it over next to City Hall. But either way, I'm okay with the item.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember. We'll go to now item A6, and that Councilmember Marquez had a question on item A6.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. On this measure, Great Plates delivery program, my question is this: it's been asked several times, and the reason I was inquiring because I'm the board of directors at RTA, and RTA works with this program, and I'm kind of confused. I don't know if Mike Lee could speak on this, but RTA says that their programs that they weren't extended anymore. And on here it says that it was extended. Can somebody kind of speak on that, Mike Lee or maybe Marshall?
Sure, Councilman Marquez, thank you for the question. So you are right. The actually county has terminated their program, the Great Place program. We have continued our program, and when we first envisioned this program, we knew that this might happen. And so we're allowed to continue to serve 150 seniors in this program ever since we applied. And so it has been very successful. And yes, you're right, the county has terminated their program, but ours continues to serve our seniors.
And where does the funds come from, Mike?
Yeah, so the majority of the funds are coming from FEMA, and also there's a state reimbursement, and then the city pledge a very minimal amount into the matching component.
And do you see when the termination might come, or?
Well, so every 30 days we are waiting for the state to make sure that they are also going to continue the funding. So as you know, every 30 days I would send an email to the mayor and city council when we get the extension. So we're hopeful that there's going to be another extension. I think the next one's coming up February 6th or 7th. And we always cross our fingers every time to make sure that we get the extension. As soon as we get that, we inform the council and also the seniors. So we're very happy. Also the restaurants that participated.
Yeah, I know that local businesses really love this program. I hate to see it get terminated, but we keep it as long as we can. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Councilor Marquez. Thank you, Mike. Okay, so at this time, I'll entertain a motion. Okay, Mayor Tembaka has her hand up.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Okay, need a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, second by Councilor Cabrera. All right, so a motion by Baca and a second by Cabrera. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca?
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Motion passes, 4 ayes.
Okay, great, thank you. We're going to go now to public hearings for national pollutant discharge, item F1, and it's the NPDS mail ballot proceedings, and we'll have a report from Financial Management Services.
Thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members. This item is a typical item which comes before the City Council. With every new development, there is a condition for them to mitigate kind of the storm drain runoff. What this as a public hearing is, it allows them to participate in our National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System district and finance or fund those mitigation efforts through this district. So as I said, it's a condition of their development. This allows them to meet the condition and move forward with their projects as you will. That completes my report unless you have any additional questions.
Thanks, Marcia. And like you mentioned, it's a very, very routine item here. So, okay. Any council questions of staff? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and open the hearing. So the hearing is now open. Any public testimony, Madam Clerk?
None.
All right, thank you. We'll go ahead and close the hearing. Seeing there's no deliberation. Okay, I'll entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendation number 2.
I'll make a
Motion by
motion.
Councilmember Marquez.
I'll second.
Okay, second by Councilmember Cabrera. So that was Marquez and Cabrera. And then we'll go ahead and take a vote there to go ahead and direct the city clerk to open and count ballots.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion
Okay.
passes 4 ayes.
Great. So we'll give our city some time to go ahead and count those ballots.
Okay, ballot number 1 for Pedro Hype. Yes. Ballot number 2 for Robles Brothers. Yes. ROC3 CA Balago. Yes. Alman Harry and Grisella. Yes.
Okay, that was all right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so at this time, I'll entertain a motion to go ahead and approve.
I move.
Okay, moved by Councilmember Marquez.
Second.
Okay, second by Councilmember Cabrera. And Madam Clerk, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 ayes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. So now we'll go to, I believe, reports. City council members. Sorry, there's a car in the background. Okay. All right. Where's the, usually there's a share where we share PowerPoint. Tim? Great.
Can you share that? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate it, Tim. Okay, so so the first person will go ahead and have Mayor Pro Tem, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. This report is from the March Joint Powers Authority. Tonight, I'm providing an update from the March Joint Powers Commission meeting held on January 27th. The commission received a report from the legislative advocate on priorities and activities in Washington, D.C. with the new administration. We also heard an annual update on the March Inland Port Airport. Finally, we approved the entitlement applications for a commercial project and an industrial project in the Meridian South campus. And that concludes my report for the JPA.
Can you do the WRCOG there too?
Yes,
okay,
I will.
perfect.
Okay, the items covered at the WRCOG Executive Committee meeting on February 1st, 2021 include the Executive Committee approved the Western Riverside Council of Governments, also known as WRCOG, 2021 and 2022 legislative platform. In addition to the general advocacy goals to continue promoting quality of life and prosperity for Western Riverside County, the platform identifies housing and economic development as priority issues areas. And that concludes my reports. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Victoria. We have Councilmember Marquez. I believe you have 2 reports, one RTA and the Regional Conservation Authority.
I do, Mayor. I just dropped my paperwork. Hang on.
No worries.
Okay, there we go. Okay, RTA I'll start off with. As of January 20th meeting, the RTA board took action to modify the overlapping of routes. What they did, they eliminated routes, but Moreno Valley only had to spare 1 route, which was Route 18. Other cities lost quite a bit of routes, bus routes, so we were very fortunate just the 1 route. Also, in the future, how do they put it? With the lack of ridership because of the pandemic, there's probably going to be some more changes. And what they're saying is they'll probably do some alternate routes around or through Moreno Valley. So we might pick up some extra routes there too. So that concludes my report there on the RTA. Secondly, this is a good report because it tells the region who's building and who's making the money in the cities. Moreno Valley, fees collection for November and December of last year was $248,833. And that equals into 133 residents and 9.9 acres of commercial industrial permits. And a lot of the cities, if you look at the reports that I get, they're not even close to that. So I'm proud to say that we're still growing out here, and this is beautiful. So keep it up, and we'll get past Riverside one of these days. So we can keep this up. And that's it on my reports. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you so much, Councilor Marquez. All right, that concludes the City Council reports. We do have, we're now on item I2, which is City Manager's report. If there's one.
Sure, Mayor, just 2 items tonight. I think there was a speaker that spoke about jobs. So I just want to inform the residents that we have a BERC, which is our Business Deployment Resource Center. It's been open since the pandemic, and we thank you for the dedication of the mayor and council to keep the BERC open. As of now, as we speak, we have over 75 local companies looking to hire people, and probably close to 1,000 jobs that are out there. So we have a lot of jobs out there. Local companies are hiring. And also, second, I heard a council member might be interested in adopting a dog. And so just to remind the residents that we do have our animal shelter, and that you can still adopt a dog by appointment. So I just want to just say that. So that concludes my presentation tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mike. All right, that brings us to council closing comments. We have starting off with Councilor Marquez.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, Cabrera, you need to get 2 dogs, not 1. Anyway. I want to start off by saying this. One of the speakers spoke about the illegal dumping. This morning I was out in District 2 following up on some complaints about illegal dumping. And I thought District 3 was pretty bad. But if you go up there on Marina Beach Drive, just north of the freeway, I drove up in there. It's terrible up there. It's terrible. I know it's private property, and I'll get with Mike Wolf and Mike Lee and see if we can clean that up. But that's very close to the dump out there, and I just cannot understand why people can't just pay $10 or whatever it is and go to the dump and dump their trash. I'm working with staff, Public Works, Mike Wolf and his crew on this east end of town. They spent 2 days cleaning it up out there. And I went out there this morning because of the complaints. And it's right back to where it was before. All they have to do is go right up Redlands Boulevard or right up Theodore and to the dump and dump it for $10, $15. And they just dump it off on the side of our roads. We get visitors that drive through there and they see this, just like the freeways. The visitors see that and they say, God, is this Moreno Valley? It's a shame. So, if you see something, say something. Take a picture, send it to me or my colleagues if you see somebody illegal dumping. We need to clean this up. And it's not the city's responsibility to babysit out there. And the residents are getting very upset. So, you see something, say something, take a photo, send it in to us. Our city attorney and PD will prosecute. Believe me, they will. Another item I just want to follow up on is I'm on the Highway Patrol Task Force, and CHP's been doing a lot of DUI patrolling. And you would think after the holidays it would slow down. It hasn't slowed down. And that leads me up to our city. I asked Mike Lee this morning to look into a DUI checkpoint. I know lately we've had some traffic accidents involving DUIs. And I think we should have maybe some more in the very, very near future. I know a lot of people are against them, but just look at the stats, all the accidents that's happening here in Moreno Valley, head-on collisions at 11 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. It happens any time of the day, but most of the time at night. So, you know, if Mike can get with the police chief, maybe we could set up some checkpoints. Stay safe out there. Stay safe. This pandemic, it involves everybody. It just doesn't involve a group of people. It involves everybody, a human being. And I understand lately, it now it's attacking animals, chimpanzee, a dog. So you know what? We need to be safe out there. I'm asking, please wear your mask, wash your hands, be safe. Don't go out to sporting events, which I wish we did have sporting events, but you know, just stay home with your family and be safe. The city has plenty of hand sanitizer they can hand out and masks. If you need any, get with the city manager's office. They'll help you get some hand sanitizers and face masks. But you know what? Let's be safe out there. Let's get over this pandemic. It's going on a year, and our children need to get back to school, especially my grandkids. They need to get back there too. But we need to do that. We need to do that. So I ask everybody out there in Moreno Valley, you know, just be safe out there. That's all. And let's get back to our normal lives. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Marquez. Appreciate that. We have Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Buenas tardes once again to everyone. It's good to be here. Yes, I would like to adopt a dog. Been working on it. Been in contact with the shelter, and I'm actually hoping to adopt a German Shepherd. Preferably a younger one, so I can still train it a little bit. I remember one time when we still had public events. Deputy Brooks, when he was still here before he went to the Ben Clark Training Center, he would do the shows for the public, and they would bring out the canines and they would wear the cushion on the arm and have a demonstration. He almost let me do it one time. If it wasn't for the chief telling him no, he probably would have let me do it. And anyway, I'll be adopting pretty soon. I absolutely love dogs. So also the truck parking, one of our residents, reached out. I'm in support of that as well. A lot of trucks come through my district. Mike Wolf, thank you for helping out with all that, with the truck signage, and Chief Salisbury with the commercial enforcement team. But a lot of them, I've actually put on my vigilante hat on before and followed these trucks, to see where are they going. And a lot of them go from Paris or LaSalle, from the city of Paris, up Iris over toward Redlands and Moreno Beach. So, I think if we had more truck parking, public truck parking over on the east end by the warehouses, the trucks are already there and it's right off of the 60. So, hopefully that's something that we can put in place to help our local business owners. This morning, I attended the Board of Supervisors meeting here in Riverside County at 9:30 in the morning. My main goal was to ask for a vaccination site for Moreno Valley. We still do not have an official county-run vaccination site. And so I made that pitch today. The supervisors, they listened. The chairwoman, Karen Spiegel, she did bring that up, to her folks, to public health. Public health was actually there giving a presentation and speaking as well. So it looks like they heard us. Now we just have to, work with them, have that strong partnership and communication with them, and to continue advocating until we get a vaccination site in Moreno Valley. So, we'll keep a close eye on as vaccines, the production actually increases, more companies jump on board and have these vaccines that come online, so that we can secure a vaccination site here for the city. So we'll keep working on that. Next point, rental assistance. Just last week, the state legislature and the governor approved $2.6 billion in rental assistance for landlords and tenants in the state. So, that's good for up to 80% of back due rent, which is a huge help. And so, I know that there will be more information coming closer to March from the state in regards to applying for this rental assistance. So for any landlords out there, or if you're a renter, please let your landlord know, especially if you're back due on rent, so that we can make sure that our landlords are able to pay their mortgages. If they've been on forbearance, they can get that off of their shoulders, and so that all of us, any renters, any tenants in the city can pay their rent as well, and just to alleviate that pressure, because I know a lot of people are really suffering from that. So just keep an eye out on that. And there's also $1 billion coming from the federal government that's going to be split up between California cities of 200,000 residents or more. So that's a substantial amount of money that's coming. This federal assistance is finally starting to come down the pipeline, so we'll keep an eye on that. Last week, the Biden administration also announced, they actually signed multiple executive orders. One of them was the creation of a new office specifically for climate action. And he also, President Biden, created a new commission specifically to work with local elected officials, with mayors and council members to implement different climate policies. And this is good because, again, I talk about it again and again, about how we can bring higher wage jobs that revolve around technology and sustainability and renewable energy and electric vehicles and self-driving cars and electric semis. All of this is coming, and we can capitalize on it. We have all the infrastructure, all the pieces, and all the players in place. So that leads me to my last thing. I actually want to ask for support from my colleagues. I spoke with Chief Salisbury, and I would like to propose that we give direction to staff to seek bids and to purchase a technology. It's called Flock Safety. It's license plate readers for the police department. It's extremely affordable. It's very effective. And like I said, I spoke to the chief about it. And so I would like to ask for support from my colleagues to move forward with that. So, if I can get a second on that, and if I can get the rest of my colleagues to support, I would appreciate that.
Got my second.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. And so you're requesting if they can look into, it's called Flock Safety?
Flock Safety, yes. And, to go out to get bids, to get actual costs for the technology. And just in a nutshell, it uses our existing camera system already that we have in the city. It's just an overlay. So it's a software that adds on top of our camera system. And I'm telling you, like, from what I've seen online, articles and videos, it's game changing. So, if I could get your support, Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem, I would appreciate that as well.
Sure. Yeah, to look into some bids and all that. So, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, I think that request should go to the Public Safety Subcommittee. But I just say that this Friday.
Well, someone's sharing the wrong slide for right now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. That this Friday is the memorial services for Dr. Carla Thornton. It's at 10 o'clock at the Veterans Memorial, and hopefully we'll get people to come. But if you can't because of COVID, if you're, you have underlying conditions, or you just don't want to come out of your house, this is going to be on YouTube and the city's page, so you can watch from home, the safety of your home. So please feel free to join us through that mode of communication due to the COVID-19. And I know that people need to be careful. It's getting worse. We're getting different strains, and we're double masking now. So please be careful and take care of yourself so that we can stop spreading this virus, and we come out of this pandemic sooner than later. And I know that they're looking for another spike to be coming pretty soon. So I asked our city staff, and starting with the city manager, to please be careful with the spending, because we don't know what lies ahead. So be very, very conservative with spending, and take into consideration the future. And I know you're already doing that, but I just wanted to voice that. And Riverside Community College District closed their meeting tonight in memory of Dr. Carla Thornton, Councilwoman Thornton. So I just want to say recognize them and say thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing that. The March Joint Powers, which she was a member with me, they were very sad as well, and they send their condolences. And Mike Lee, if you can send the information to Danielle Kelly so she can disseminate it to the other members of the commission, as they were interested in her memorial as well. So that's it, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem Baca. I know that's really a big thing that's happening right now with many of our residents. You know, we're just really saddened and shocked over what happened. Again, my condolences to the family. And I just want to say that this has been a very tough year for many of us in our nation, state, also, especially our city. We've lost a lot of loved ones, even just looking through our Facebook. You know, I think in the last 6 weeks, I think we've probably all noticed that we've been experiencing a lot of lost loved ones recently because of this pandemic. So it's very, very important now more than ever that we need to really try to stay safe, follow those precautions from the Riverside County Public Health, and try to get vaccinated. That leads me to my next point, that I do understand that it is very frustrating, especially if you're a senior, if you're over, let's say, for example, age of 65, if you have maybe some mobility issues, getting to any of those vaccination sites, it is very difficult and very frustrating. But I do want to encourage everybody to hang in there. It does look like there's going to be more dosages available. And I did hear that there's going to be more sites. And we're going to continue to advocate for a site in the city of Moreno Valley. You know, we're the second largest city in Riverside County, and we do not have a vaccination site. And that's unacceptable. It's very unacceptable. And this is why I've actually addressed this issue with several other elected officials at the county and also at the state level as well, that we really do need to have a vaccination site here. And I am very grateful of many employers actually making, I don't want to say deals, but basically making partnerships with some clinics to get their employees vaccinated in the city of Moreno Valley. So like Moreno Valley School District and some other agencies and companies, were able to kind of make those partnerships, but not everybody else was. So we're going to continue. Our city staff is going to continue, and I know that our council members will continue to advocate for the city of Moreno Valley so that we can get our part and our fair share as well. I do want to thank the staff for all of their hard work and the council for their support of the Senior Eats Great Plates program. It's been so beneficial. We have over 10 restaurants that we've been actually helping, and many of those restaurants have told me, like even the Woody's owner and Jitters and all of those individuals have told me that if it wasn't for the program, they probably wouldn't have stayed open. That's how beneficial this program really has been, and providing that consistent revenue stream every month. And we've actually been able to have that program for almost, well, actually, I mean, it's going to be probably 9 months already. And it's been a really great program. And I'm very proud of our city because we were one of the only cities, actually, other than Riverside County, that became a direct partner with the state. Other cities didn't want to become a direct partner. So I'm very proud of our city staff for pushing that. And many other cities about a month or 2 months ago stopped the program. And Riverside County already ended their program about a month ago. But the city of Moreno Valley, here we are. We're continuing to push through and provide that social justice for our residents, just like we did with the Employment Resource Center. You know, we stayed open, and that's what really matters. I do want to, again, thank the staff and also the council for supporting the projects that we approved tonight, you know, as far as, you know, bringing more local jobs, the partnerships, and revitalizing that area that, I mean, it's just been an eyesore for over 2 decades. And I do want to remind everyone again of the memorial that's going to take place this Friday. There's been a lot of planning. Our staff, I want to thank Pat as well. I know you're there, Pat. You've been very instrumental you know, in working to kind of get this, and Renee and everybody at the City Council office, Regina, Catherine, Mike as well. I also want to thank General Coburn as well. I've been in conversations with General Coburn as well, and she's helped with the taps and the honors and all of those things. Councilor Marquez, thank you also for the flag, for helping with that. And, you know, so everybody's working as a team, you know, putting everything aside and we're working as a team. That's what really matters. So just want to thank everybody for that. And, you know, please join this Friday at 10 a.m. It's going to be a very comprehensive program, very detailed. But at the end towards the end of the ceremony, before we lay the wreath and the flowers, there will be an opportunity for anyone to speak and share and maybe a very positive, you know, obviously a positive moment, a time that you've experienced with Carla that you'd like to share. So we'll have that open, start with dignitaries and everybody, and everybody will have an opportunity. So with that, and also we will have that memorial set up for 3 days after the Friday. So that's going to be another good thing too. So if you feel maybe uncomfortable going because maybe there might be a lot of people, you can always show up a little bit later and, you know, leave some flowers there, or the next day, you know, at least till Sunday, you know, you can do that as well. All right, so just want to thank everyone for the council, from the council to the staff, and we're going to close this meeting in honor of Council Member Dr. Carla J. Thornton, a true friend, a go-getter, a very strong woman, and someone that we're always going to remember for her hard, diligent work in District 2 in our city. So we'll close the meeting in her honor.